The stock market's on fire. It's up 140 points.
Well, you're not going to touch your 401k
we're
anyway.
up over 25,000 now. That's pretty sweet.
All right, let it ride.
Well, I am. I didn't say, I got to get out of the market. I said, how great is this?
It's fine. It'll go down. It'll go up. Ah, yes, the market. Long term. You're in it for the long term. You're not ready to retire?
No.
I kind of abbreviate when I do the drops. I don't write out the whole thing. From 9:08 to 9:14, the last 4 drops, huge hung.
Nice.
It's a good hour.
Iggy, a
It's a
Swing
nice
Haven
6
board
minutes.
member just sent in what he claims is a picture of his wife.
Okay, yeah. If it is,
But you're sideways with them now. I can't remember what knocked you guys off track. Something happened.
maybe because I wrote a prisoner,
Oh, that's right.
turned him off. Well, if that
And
is
you
her,
said she was going to be on the show this morning, but what happened?
she didn't call. She didn't
Yeah.
call last night, and then I sent her a message.
Well,
I
she's
said,
in jail. She can't call.
no, she's out of jail. And I said, I'm going to bed. I said, but, whenever you want to call, just let me know. I'm usually available.
Doug, this is about the time that grandparents start to go left and right, so.
No, I don't know.
situation.
But then I sent her
You
a message.
think somebody from the fan page got to her?
Probably. Only because she was very excited in the message. I'll let you read the messages. She said, can I do it tomorrow? And I said, yeah, that's fine. I'll be home tomorrow night. She goes, great. I'm really looking forward to talking to you.
Yeah, fun
Right.
time.
And then all of a sudden, now nothing. So
Where'd she go?
Doug, here is a picture of one of the listeners' wives driving their boat.
Sure. Just a cute little thing.
It's a nice boat, too.
Just a bikini model, that's all.
I will say, Winghaven, if that is your wife, because I can't see the face, but a great butt. I will give her that.
Okay, Iggy.
But you don't believe that's her.
Well, I can't see the face. I don't know.
So you know the face of the Swing Haven board member's wife.
He sent in the same girl. Now, whether it's his wife or not, but at least he's taking pictures from somebody else's Facebook page of the same person.
She has romantic, she has family, and she has also sexy modes.
But if that's your wife, yeah, she's very nice.
But they're sideways with you. You're not sideways with them, and they're sideways with you because you wrote a prisoner.
Yeah, I don't know why that would make you sideways.
They like feet.
I did it for a segment, and she turned out to be a very sweet person. That she seemed to be happy when she got my letter, so I just wanted to make her happy.
Can you hear me good?
She's on the outside now, isn't she?
Living in Kansas City, yeah.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Check out listener rewards on the new TMA mobile app. Watch the show live on the TMA studio cams. Find it at TMASTL.com. Get the podcast on the TMA app. Download it now.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2. The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
On KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. Cuts of the Week are brought to you by Bertarelli Cutlery. Visit them on the Hill or online at bertarellico.com. Cut 1.
And after the first song, she just leaned down. She goes, "That shirt is so bitchin'." I said, "You like it?" She goes, "Yeah." I gave it to her. I just took it out. I did.
Now you were topless?
Yeah, the rest of the show I had no shirt on. So afterwards,
She took your sweaty shirt right off of you
I don't know how
while
sweaty it
she was playing the concert.
No, I gave it to her.
Stopped between songs and took your shirt.
Yeah, she was in a garter belt and panties.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. I bet you were too.
So anyway, we went backstage afterwards and they asked us to go to a party. And we couldn't because Frank had to go meet his girlfriend and he
Who's
drove.
Frank Ladd?
Frank Ladd.
Frank Koch.
Who the hell is Frank Koch?
One of the Koch
I'm gonna
brothers.
get that text name.
One of the Koch brothers?
No.
The huge Republican donors?
So,
You went to a party with the Koch brothers, topless?
It was at Palm Beach.
yeah.
And you're doing radio still?
No, it was at Rico's.
Yeah.
He was,
Rico's in Palm Beach.
he was
The
pee-whipped.
sister bar.
So he had to go get his girlfriend, so we couldn't go. But as I was leaving, Joan Jett just grabbed my butt.
So Joan Jett says you want to go to a party. You said, no, Frank's got to go pick up his
I think
girlfriend.
Sherry Curie asked us to go.
So you would go, right? You
We
would
had
say,
no way
Frank,
to-
we're going
we
to
had
have
no
to
way to
part
get there."
ways right now. I'm going to this party.
I had no way to get there. He drove.
Joan would have taken you.
Then how do we get home?
I don't think at that age you worry about how am I going to get home. If a famous rock star says, hey, let's go to a party, and she's already ripped your shirt off, I think you go.
Cut
2.
Well, we do get like 3-4 weeks a year.
Do you?
Yeah?
Doug, what's going on right
Yes,
now?
we do.
I thought we get
Just
two.
like the beer now learning.
I thought we get 2. Well, if I get more than that, I'll start taking more time.
Yeah.
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 We get more than 2?
Well, I think it's an individual by individual basis, and
we've both been
some
here
of the players
for a while,
are in different positions in negotiations than other players.
How long you been here? Compared to how long have I been here?
Well, you've been in the business 30 years. I've been in it 40-some-odd years.
Not in radio, but how long have we been at the station?
6 months.
Oh, yeah, 6 months almost to the day.
Right, so, yeah, it makes sense. You should get more time than me.
Well,
It seems like a pressure for HR.
I'm sorry I even brought it up now.
what's up, Tommy?
Oh, my.
You make up vacation time and time you miss by when the show's actually on the air.
Doug came over the top.
But Swope did the math and said 42 minutes in a week. I don't believe that.
No, that's not true.
Well, it could be.
I think it actually is probably the right number.
But if it is 8 minutes a day for 5 days,
it's almost
that's
5 minutes a segment. It's 5 minutes every time we break.
That's
I'm not 5 minutes late for a break.
Yeah, you are.
Oh yeah. I think 25 minutes is a better
Either way.
number. 42 is a lot. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it adds up over the course of the year.
That's
There goes your vacation time spent smoking.
It's amazing. People bitch that I talk too much, and the same people bitch that I'm late for breaks. I mean, make up your mind.
Cut.
3. So wait a second. You talk about golf and your knowledge this much, and you can't even break 100. Stop, Ken. Just stop. Give up the game. That's from Harrison's brother Master.
What does me not being a good golfer have to do with me knowing about golf?
Harrison, you can call into the station at Kia.
You just make an ass of yourself.
I guess he felt like if you knew more about it, you'd score better.
Why is that?
Well, you can manage around the golf course.
I just don't play enough, and I don't practice.
You play every week, a couple times.
No, I don't practice. And I'm old.
You can't to get somewhere.
You can't teach a new dog old tricks or an old dog new tricks. You can't teach a dog tricks when you're dumb.
Well, you can get better as you're older.
Short game, yeah, but the other stuff, I mean, driving, I drove the ball great when Tim and I played our Saturday matches, and a week later, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, stupid.
Cut.
I'll leave it at the 4.
I could be wrong, but I could have swore I read where it's 1 in a trillion that you're born. That
trillion, that's a big number.
That sperm hits your egg and you're born. It's 1 in a trillion chance that happens.
So there's a trillion sperm that get released?
I don't know. That's just the.
Damn, I flushed a lot down.
That's just the number I thought I saw. 1 in a trillion chance that you.
That seems like a lot.
I thought so too, but that's what I.
So I'm looking about.
Seems like a lot
for
of
the nearly 5,000 sperm that make it into the uterotubule junction. About 1,000 of these reach the inside of the fallopian tube. From the 1,000 sperm entering the tube, only around 200 actually reach the egg. In the end, only one lucky sperm out of this group of 200 actually penetrates and fertilizes the egg.
1 out of 200, not 1 out of a trillion.
Dude, my crust sock has like Portugal population type numbers.
Does anybody really use a sock?
Well, that's what you say it is.
I just use an old white tee.
Really?
I don't have great accuracy.
Oh, and you're worried about a hair on my egg.
We should say that for Pepper and Jeannie.
Yeah, well, we can still talk about it. Where's your landing spot?
No.
Yeah, what do you use?
Well, there you go, Mr. Lex.
How's that licks?
How do you like that topic, bud?
Tickle your fancy?
And those were the cuts of the week.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and right now, this is a unique time, and I'm here with Ryan Kelly. And Ryan, what can you tell our listeners about this moment in American history?
Well, it's the perfect time to buy a house.
Yeah.
When you think about that, knowing that you can get a house significantly less today than a year ago, I mean, that's a win-win, right? And mortgage rates are definitely a little higher than they were a year ago. But at thehomeloanexpert.com, we have a saying: you marry the house, you date the rate. Got questions? Ready to get pre-approved? Let's talk. It all starts today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville.
7:10 in St. Louis. Doug, we're going to get a late start today.
Oh, it is late. What in the world?
I don't know. I'm just telling you, it's 7:10. I can't be dishonest with the audience, can I?
No, you can't.
It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Ryan Kelly, thehomeloanexpert.com, sponsor the program, and we are in our Munganess St. Louis Acura Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour. From the Michelob Ultra Studios, hello, friends. Come on in. The water is warm. Engineer Design Facilities. Text inbox 314-881-TMA5. And you can call in. We want to do a press conference Wednesday today, solely phone calls. It's basically going to be the Francesa show. We're going to count bowls.
Okay. 40 some odd.
That's right.
We'll count them one by one, though.
And I'm going to recall where TNT is on my television.
I still don't know where it is on mine. 51, maybe. 53.
I don't have channels anymore now that I'm YouTube TV. It doesn't have numbers, so you just scroll down to find the channel. It's just popping up there. So that's what we're planning on doing. I really like today's show itinerary, and you can be the first one up for the press conference Wednesday. Anybody is available for questions outside of Doug. I will facilitate answers on his behalf. 636-9004-TMA. Email in for our Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day. Jeremy Rutherford, who had a hell of a story on The Athletic last night on the Blues, and Doug Armstrong. I don't want to say he went off because that wouldn't be a fair characterization of what he had to say, but he was very direct, and the situation, and even mentioned the word rebuild. Not to say that they're going to, but everything is on the table at this particular moment. So Jeremy Rutherford, presented by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies, will be with us at 9 o'clock. And as we wait for your phone calls, we're just going to slowly take our tops off. So let's begin.
It's not up to us to come up with ideas to talk about. It's the listener's show.
Thank you.
And if they don't want to call in and provide the content for the show, that's on them, and I'm ashamed of St. Louis.
Good for you.
If you think that we can come in and on our own develop topics and have lively, informative conversation, well, you're just flat out wrong.
Thank you.
It's up to you. You driving in heavy traffic to try to get to work, to pick up your phone, take your mind off the traffic, call us with a legitimate topic. That's on you, not on us.
You expect us to come in here at 5 o'clock and sit down and talk about things we're going to talk about? No.
Right. Don't have the time for it.
No, that's not on us.
Thank you.
This is our job, and we get paid for it, but it doesn't mean that it's our responsibility.
That's it. That's it. It's our job. We'll acknowledge that. Not a responsibility.
No. And so we're not doing nothing.
Turn the aux on. It's from the 314.
I guess we could read scores. Remember the days of old radio and TV news where you just read every single score? Every Major League score you'd have to read?
Yeah, we'd have graphics.
Every NHL score, yeah.
It was a nice way to kill time.
Oh, it was a great time killer.
As I was doing it, I was thinking, I can't imagine anybody's really watching this, but...
Well, it did serve a purpose because, obviously it was before the Internet. And unless you had a newspaper in your hand, you wouldn't really know.
I was doing it in the 2000s.
Yeah, me too.
And I already had a subscription to Danny's hard drive at that point.
A subscription to Danny's hard drive.
I was watching her the other day. She actually did some porn.
I thought we were talking about your brother.
No, we're talking about Danny.
DeGrom on the season. Just to show you how crazy it is.
There's some nice stats.
This is earned runs this year.
All right, let's count.
1-1-1-4 3-0-0.
There's no sound on YouTube.
Oh, no.
314.
Turn your volume up.
Oh,
that might be the issue.
No, Tim was...
I see it's live.
I see it's live. Because we're moving high.
There's 99 friends in there. And I mean friends of the feather.
Doug, when Tim said Danny's hard drive, he's talking about...
brother Danny.
Danny Ash. I believe he's talking about Danny Ash.
Who's Danny Ash?
Blonde, big breast.
Your brother doesn't have particularly large breasts.
No, he's an A-cup.
But that was Danny's hard drive. I had a password to that.
Oh, well. And now you're going to peacock a little bit, aren't you? Take a little sip of champagne.
Yeah, there's another win. There's another W.
The sound on YouTube is fine, by the way.
Okay.
Of course it is.
Yeah, people are awesome.
But I thought she just
People are awesome.
This is the content they're bringing to us. We tell them they must bring the content, and what do? They tell us the YouTube audio is not working. I've had enough of these people.
But I did... I thought she just did like girl.
No, did Danny only do girl, or did
your brother?
That's correct.
Ash. There's an E on Ash.
How are we supposed to know who that is?
Well, Tim brought her up.
I don't really recall her per se, but I do recall...
She has romantic,
Right,
she has family, and she has also sexy modes.
She had a segment she did in bed with Danny, and she'd bring like another entertainer, and they would sit in bed and undress and talk.
Just any other entertainer?
Well, they weren't really. One was Ashley Jugs, who I
Like
liked.
Tony Bennett would come around?
But Ashley Jugs never did porn.
Ashley Jugs?
Jugs, yeah. She never did porn. She started out as a stripper in Tampa, and then got into just doing like solo stuff.
And we'll talk about that at 8. Doug, that was Ashley Jugs. I think she's going to join us. And you guys have director Matt coming on Pepper and Genie? Is that correct? Pollock and I were talking about this yesterday after the award-winning balloon party.
Sounds like potentially Friday.
Tell me about Abigail Mack. That's what I need to know about.
He said it's his busy season.
Oh,
holidays are always busy for the stag industry.
Why would one season be busier?
He's just a funny dude. I don't know if he was even being serious.
Okay.
I mean, it's just how he is. He's funny as hell.
Director Matt. Man, I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, he's supposed to hit me up today and give me the 411 on what we can actually do in terms of time. And I asked him if he was comfortable talking about his industry. He goes, oh, yeah. That's fine.
Nice. Doug, this is going to be a huge gift for Pepper and Genie.
What else would we talk to him about?
Well, that's what I told him. I wanted to make sure that was fine, that we dive into, some stories, not from the club necessarily.
Oh, we like tales from the club.
Call her Luke.
Yeah. Matty Dreads.
All right. Another win for Pepper and Genie. Take that, Mr. Licks.
Although he cut all the dreads off.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I think he had his parents visiting.
And he had to get back to the lie that he was working for one of the TV stations out there as a photographer.
No, I told you that he revealed last year what he did. But yeah, for 8 years, he would take him to the ABC studio that he worked at because he knew the news director, and would just do a fake tour and talk to employees that he hasn't worked with in years.
And the parents insisted on this tour year after year. Wouldn't you think you'd pull that off one time? That'd be about enough.
It certainly wasn't every year. Not every time they visited, but if they did want to see the studio, I think it is a funny ruse that.
Yeah. I worked at KMOE for 5 years, and my parents never asked for, nor did I provide, a tour of the building.
Well, we're in Canton. We have a Kroger, a Hy-Vee, and our fine dining is Pizza Hut.
A little TV station in Las Vegas was
mind blowing.
Yeah. It was like going to Cape Canaveral.
I can see how people would want to see it. It's interesting if you haven't ever been to one. It's interesting to see how it's done. But once ought to do it.
I'd rather see a porn set, but I mean,
I agree. Guys, I've had on very good authority that Mr. Licks is a third shift package handler at the UPS distribution center at Jefferson and 40. He gets off work at 7 a.m., which explains why he's always available to be calling and emailing. It also explains why he's usually in the car and many times at a drive-thru. He's grabbing his after-shift dinner. I know a guy who works there, and he says TMA is all he talks about. That comes from Bill's Gentle Load.
Oh,
I believe him.
Johnny Brox is right there at Jefferson and 40, or Jefferson 44.
Ah.
Yeah. Jefferson and 40. Okay.
Good morning. Pepper and Genie is a parody of stupid. It is literally dumber than dumb. That's from Nate in Tallahassee, home of the Florida State Seminoles.
Yeah, we didn't have one yesterday. We'll have one today.
You guys did not have one yesterday? And what was the reason for that?
You wanted to leave them wanting more?
No.
We had computer problems.
Yeah, and they continued for like another hour and a half. So
C drive issues.
It's nice to have that all good. But yeah, it was.
All right.
Well, the retired air marshal gets to start off this press conference Wednesday, where all we're doing is taking phone calls today. It's on you.
Yeah,
we acknowledge it's our jobs, but it's not our responsibilities to create content. And the retired air marshal will start things off here on the Steve Schmidt Kia North County phone lines.
Morning, boys.
Hello, Marshall.
First time, long time.
Oh, good.
Lake St. Louis.
Welcome to the show.
Low 5 figures. So I think I'm up in the running for that most rich caller there.
Yeah.
3.7 million is what Biff said his net worth was, and he's the leader in the clubhouse.
I'm getting pretty close there. A couple more years.
All right, good for you.
How stressful is being an air marshal?
It's pretty stressful, especially when you're on the plane. Got to worry about a lot of hijacks.
Oh, there hadn't been a hijack in years.
Because of this guy.
I imagine you just sit there.
Take care of him.
You just probably sit there.
Well, I sat there normally, except for that trip down to Florida with you, Doug. I know we snuck to the bathroom for a little bit.
Okay. No, we didn't. All right. Okay.
Are you taking trade proposals today, Doug?
Yes, we are. Yes, you have a proposal for us.
I have a little bit of a hot topic. I was thinking a little more close to home. had a great week while you were out. I'm thinking we trade Iggy for Wellington.
Oh.
Doug, that is a trade proposal in which Iggy would go to caddy for Chris Nagel, and
Iggy
Michael
is
Wellington would come in.
Iggy, you'd probably take that trade, wouldn't you? Would you rather be a caddy on the PGA Tour than this?
No.
You wouldn't?
Not now. I can't carry a bag.
Why couldn't you carry a bag?
Walk 18 holes. 72 holes. Nice trade proposal, though. How about if we trade your call for somebody who actually can talk?
Doug, our press conference Wednesday is off to a rough start.
Can I not? Okay, I thought I was speaking pretty good English here. Let me go ahead and bounce the Pepper and Genie. I think that might come off as a surprise, even though Iggy's got a little bit of an issue with me. I'm all for Pepper and Genie getting its own little section on the app. Yeah, I think it'll make everybody happy. You have some people who do tend to listen to the show every once in a while, like myself. But what if I want to binge all of it? It's hard to find it through all the segments that are getting triple uploaded and out uploaded. I'm thinking if you get a section, just like the wonderful Tim McKernan podcast, great podcast by the way, Tim.
Okay.
Nice, Tim.
Thanks, Paul.
You built that into a brand.
If you put them all in one little section on the app, I don't know how hard this is, but you got the people who won't want to listen to it or won't see it in their feed anymore. You also got the people who want to binge it all. So I just figured I'd throw that out there. I don't know
what
how
do you think
hard
about that
is,
idea?
I have nothing to do with where they go, so I don't care what you see.
I was looking at my phone, so I don't know if it's going to happen.
I'm being supportive of the podcast.
Yes.
Okay,
Sure.
all right. I'm really leaning in on that trade proposal, though. Lastly, I got a couple things I can get to, but I'll just throw out the one more for the fat Hoosiers who I know are listening and like their NASCAR. You guys see that race that everybody's talking about where, I don't know what his last name is, Chastain or something, did that move at the very end and just rode that wall like I like to ride Doug sometimes?
Okay, pot him down.
Oh, no.
Pot him down.
No.
Pot him down.
That's the risk of press conference Wednesday. One of our members of the day is shipped off to the PGA Tour. Michael Wellington comes in, not happy with the way Pepper and Genie is on the podcast feed, and then Doug some kind of unfortunate reference to.
Maybe he didn't know what he was saying. It was clear that English was his second language.
And,
so it's possible that he didn't know what the words meant.
And I don't think he knows me and Iggy. We're vindictive. If you say you need something done, we're going to do the opposite.
Yeah.
If you're annoyed by something, we're hitting that hole heavy. We're running that play again and again. We're Trey Mason in this bitch.
Oh.
Look, I have nothing to do with
Trey
in the SEC title game.
Doug, what do you run for, like 110 yards or something?
No, like
on 50 carries.
800 yards carried.
Hey, Tim, I will gape this loser caller. That's from the recovering alcoholic. Tell this fat loser to call back when he hits puberty. That's from Eugene Levy's brow bush.
Did he sound heavy set to any of you guys?
I can never tell.
Well, guys, it's 7:21, and you can already tell Iggy is sad. That's from the 314.
I look like this every morning. I don't know what to tell you. What can play? Blah, blah.
What was that?
I don't even know.
I was ready to talk, and then I just kind of blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Well, I think you should. I know you have a no trade clause in your contract, but I think if you could go and be a caddy in the PGA, I think you'd have to do that, wouldn't you?
Oh.
Well, yeah, if I was like 30 years old.
Lift some weights, get a little stronger, lug that bag.
I'm 65 years old. I'm not fluff.
You're not a fluffer?
No, Fluff is still out there. Fluff's got to be 70.
Okay, then it can be done.
No, no. I couldn't go 72 holes carrying the big staff bag that weighs about 40 pounds, up hills. No, couldn't do it.
Huh. Well, you sure did it a few years
ago. You're actually taking this seriously, like I'm going to do it.
Well, it's kind of an interesting thought.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens on press conference Wednesday.
Yeah, it was a nice bit.
Fluff is 74.
Wow, and he's still out there carrying Furyk's bag.
Yeah, he looks like Wilford Brimley.
Does. I thought he was like in his 70s when he was on Tiger's bag. I really did.
He really hasn't changed as far as looks. He doesn't look like he's always looked. You can't really tell. He's always had that big mustache, wearing a hat.
Now, is it illegal for a caddy to use a pull cart?
Yeah.
Yes.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah, why would it?
That'll be next on Live.
Who would care?
I know John Daly played in the Bermuda Championship. I didn't think he walked anymore. you can ride karts on the senior tour, but I didn't think he could walk 72 holes anymore.
Talk about that.
Huh.
But he played. I don't think he made the cut, so he walked 36.
I see no reason why a caddy couldn't have a pull cart. Doesn't damage the course, does it?
You want to keep up. Pull cart was a little bit slower than you walking, I think.
I don't know.
No need to get a pull cart when you can get a car from Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota. Doug, tell me about your experience at Munganess.
Nothing but great. Nothing but absolutely great experiences. Service has been fantastic. I take my cars. I didn't even get there to Munganess. A lot of people do. It doesn't have to be an Acura or Toyota at Alton Toyota. You take whatever car you got, and they will fix it up good as new. Fantastic people. You can always trust them. They've got me now driving a Toyota Highlander again. It's a turbo now, so I'm ready to race.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if anyone wants to drag race, I've got the car now. Such a nice car. Man, if you're looking for a nice size SUV without having a huge truck, the Toyota Highlander is just an outstanding car. I can't speak highly enough. They've had me drive 2 or 3 of them now. One's nicer than the next. And the people out there are just so friendly, so professional. They've got a huge lot full of outstanding pre-owned cars now. If you don't want to, take the plunge and buy the new one, they've got great pre-owned cars out there. They will take excellent care of you as they've done with us.
StLouisAcura.com and AltonToyota.com. It's Munganess, sponsor of our 7 o'clock hour. Design Air is the sponsor of our email of the day. Yesterday, Kevin Miller in a 1-game playoff beat Danny Tanner. He beat Danny Tanner.
Yes, he did. Mm-hmm.
And then in what can only be described as mathematically a phenomenon of some form, Danny Tanner's email that lost to Kevin Miller then won the email of the day with the vote from Jeannie and then Pepper.
Doesn't seem possible to me.
But that's what happened.
I know.
So it didn't get the vote the first time around, and then it did. Yep. And it did the second time around. So Danny Tanner won the first email of the day presented by Design Air Heating and Cooling for November. It's Design Air online at designairservice.com. Look at this forecast bill. I mean, what are we doing, Doug? There's no need for you to move to Southern California or move to South Florida when I see highs all the way through next Thursday in the 70s. You horse plowing me?
Even a week from now, huh?
Yeah. And now we get highs in the 60s this coming weekend, but back in the 70s next week. So there you go. Now, next Friday, though.
What happens?
High of 51.
Yeah.
But still, not terrible.
Not horrible?
It's not terrible.
We'll take it.
But this is the time. This is the time where you just go, okay, fine. You talk about this furnace maintenance thing with Design Air. Go to designairservice.com and click on the Book Now tab. And you can get Seth Goldcamp and his team to come out there and make sure the furnace is firing on all cylinders for when it does get cold. And it will get cold. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, the official HVAC provider of the Ryan Kelly Morning After and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. New QFTA up, and Doug, it's called Hot Wife Autumn.
Who is Hot Wife Autumn?
Well, there was a song, Jackson, Hot Girl Summer.
Correct.
Then there was Hot Girl Bummer. And now we have Hot Wife Autumn. QFTA yesterday, a listener sent in a story of he is sleeping with a wife. Yeah, I want to get your opinion on this. But the husband encourages it. And I don't know if you think that's a cuck or not.
No, if the husband's encouraging it, there would be a hot wife. The husband is letting her sleep with whoever she wants.
There you go.
But if he doesn't encourage it, then it's cuckolding?
If he doesn't know, he's cucked.
There you go, Doug. I mean, this is I feel like we're crystallizing this definition.
What if he does know and he's being yelled at while it's happening?
Berated, then it's a porn cuck.
It's another cuck.
Now, I was watching this, I guess it's a documentary.
What is a cuck?
On Netflix. About Jerry Falwell Jr. and his situation.
I always thought that R was silent.
Falwell with the pool boy for 7 years.
He had an affair with the pool boy?
She did, but he watched.
His wife did.
But he watched.
Oh, no.
He liked to watch.
Hot wife or cuckold? It sounds like a game show.
See, that's where I had the problem because there
Isn't that Joker's Wild with Bill Cullen?
I think Bill Cullen hosted that, yeah.
But they were interviewing people.
Looks like Bill Cullen.
Like detectives.
That's because of the show.
I didn't mind Gene Rayburn.
Long microphone.
He could interview from across the room with that microphone.
Yeah, I like the mic.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But they had these investigators who were doing stories on it.
Yeah.
And one guy said, and the pool boy's having sex with the wife while the husband sits there and watches and plays with himself. That is such a cuckold. No, it's not.
Why?
He's letting the guy do it. He's letting the pool
That
boy
would have
do
been
it.
an early cuck situation.
He just
Maybe
wanted to watch.
the wife says, maybe the wife, since he was probably wealthy, much younger, saying, I'm going to do this or I'm leaving you.
No.
Hello, Cucky.
No, he encouraged it. But that's not a cuck if the husband, just because he likes to watch. If that's the case, then all the couples I had sex with at Hedo, I'm cucking all those dudes.
I think you did.
Cut that off.
I think that's exactly what you did.
Well, didn't Jimmy the Bull try to cuck you, bro?
Because they're not cuckolds if they know what's going on. They're not being cheated on. They weren't berated. It's not the definition of a cuckold just because you like to watch.
You berated the guy when you called him Spielberg.
Well, I wasn't berating. I was just kind of...
It was a snide remark.
Yeah, it was just an ass. Me being
That's a cock.
Lauren says that was a cock.
So I don't know. It's pretty fascinating. All this stuff went on for 7 years and nobody really said anything.
Good morning. If I'm banging a game show host, I'm going Bert Convy all day long. That's from Injun Joe's Cave Ride Magic Man.
I probably agree with that. He was a good-looking dude.
Okay.
Great hair.
Yeah, he did. Thick, luscious hair.
All right. Okay.
Maybe back in his prime, I'd go with God, who was the guy in Hogan's Heroes that did?
Bob Crane?
No, who did Family Feud?
Richard Dawson.
Richard Dawson. God, you couldn't get away with that stuff now.
No.
He pretty much
In the air, left field, and gone.
I always thought Bob Barker was classically handsome.
Friend of the show.
Yeah.
He was a guest?
He was a guest. He was indeed. Guys, Ken's a moron. His definition of cock is wrong and stupid and meandering. Cut his mic, please. That's from Hyman Roth. Doug, he did a deal with Michael Corleone.
Smaller piece. No, I've given you the two definitions. And if there's any more, they're made up. You can't have 9 definitions of a cuck.
Why not?
Well, because this guy who was being interviewed yesterday on this thing didn't know what a cuck is.
Well, that doesn't mean that you can't
People
have
just
9
throw out the word
definitions.
cuckold for no... You can't just keep throwing out cuckold everywhere.
You got to stop it.
You're angry with these people?
Yes. Just keep throwing out the word cuckold like, hey, it's cuck.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a cuckold. You're a cuckold.
It covers a lot of
No.
different situations.
Just because you're watching your wife have sex with a pool boy who you gave her permission to do
That's
and you
a
enjoy
cuck.
watching, he's not a cuckold.
What is it?
It's just his kink.
Okay. Well, some would say his kink is being a cuckold.
No, his kink is just like to watch. And then the pants would come off.
Who's?
Excuse me?
Yeah, Falwell would play with himself.
And how do you know this? This was a documentary?
Yeah, the pool boy was in the documentary. They thought he was lying about him. But he's got pictures and he's got text messages. He kept everything.
First, I'm a sex addict.
And why would he come out with this now? Hadn't Jerry Falwell been dead for a long time?
No, this is the son,
So it's not Jerry Falwell.
Jerry Falwell Jr.
He's still around.
Yes.
So he was trying to extort money
Yeah,
from
this
him
only
or
happened
something?
like a year and a half ago, that he got kicked out of Liberty University that his father founded.
Yeah. He's trying to get money out of Falwell? Is that why he's going public with this?
No, you have to watch the documentary.
I'm not going to watch the documentary.
Well, it's simple. Is that he went into business with Falwell. He bought this this bar, restaurant, bodega type thing in Miami.
Bodega.
And it had everything. It had a restaurant, then it had a gift shop, and I forgot what it's called. There's a name for it in Florida.
Denny's?
But he went
They call
into
it Denny's.
They went into business, and he ended
Cracker
up
Barrel
he
has
ended
all
up buying this thing.
Yeah, I like that Cracker Barrel.
He ended up buying this thing, and he's running it himself for 5 years. And Falwell kept saying, "We're going to make millions." But the two guys he went in with, they sued Falwell, and Falwell paid him like $4.5 million to drop the lawsuit. But he never paid the pool boy. He said, "Look, I'm putting all my money into this. You said you were my backer, and I've done everything. You just paid these guys $4 million, and you've treated me like trash for 5 years. I've kept my mouth shut. I haven't said anything." And then Falwell came up with something in the Washington Post saying that his wife slept with him behind his back, and he didn't know, and this pool boy's trying to extort him. So he jumped the gun trying to get ahead of what he thought was going to happen. And that's when the pool boy said, "I've had enough," and he just came out with everything.
Who cares?
Okay.
Well, I mean, don't watch it.
Where'd you see this documentary you should speak of?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting.
All right.
Doug, there it is.
Do you have a pool boy? Does he have to be there every day?
Well, he was working at the Fontainebleau, which is, back in the day, that place was hopping.
It's still a ritzy hotel.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still the same. The pool action is the same as it was back in the day.
So he was living at the Fontainebleau.
No, he was a pool boy there.
I thought he was a pool boy at Falwell's house. What the hell is he pool boy for?
He was a pool boy at the Fontainebleau, and he met this lady, and she invited him up to the room.
Oh.
And he didn't know it was the Falwells till like 3 months later. He never gave his last name.
Then they got into business
Okay.
together.
No,
and owned bodegas.
Then they went back to the Falwell house?
He started spending a lot of time there. They would take him.
There being the Falwell house.
Yeah, they would take him on vacations. He met Donald Trump. And that's where the whole thing turned into politics because Falwell was backing Donald Trump. And he was friends with Michael Cohen. He's got Michael Cohen on tape talking about all this stuff. So it really turned into a political thing. But anyway.
Look, there it is.
He was a 20-year-old pool boy who got involved with the wife for like 7 years. And the husband, Jerry Falwell, knew what was going on. He was watching most of the time.
Which makes him...
makes him a cuckold. A 7-year-long...
Very rarely do you get a boner at Hedo.
Gosh, that's a long time to suffer through that.
What, a boner?
A cuckold situation. 7 years.
He wasn't a cuck, I don't think.
They say, I don't think. That kind of makes it seem like you're open to...
Well, I don't
think. A counselor coming in here and...
No, I don't think it's a cuck, but evidently this investigative reporter who they were talking to called him a cuckold, but he really doesn't know, I don't think.
The reporter used that language, did he?
Again, he called... Yeah, he didn't say cuck, he's a cuckold.
Cuckold.
Again.
Have we been saying it wrong all these years?
Oh, wow.
It's cuckold?
Doug, that could be an indictment of the quality of the show.
It could be.
Depends on where you're
Gosh, to
from.
find that out now?
I think I threw like an Australian accent out there. Orange is the new black, they used it.
Cuckold.
You cuckolded me.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, people are just getting very laxed with the word cuckold.
Yeah. I'm tired of that too.
I agree.
Right,
What a press conference! It's a press conference Wednesday for the ages, and the phone lines are full. 636-900-4TMA. Actually, I don't see any calls.
No.
Now that I looked
not
that I
today.
looked over, but I do have this email, and addressed it on QFTA. So I've been single for about 2.5 years. The dating game is so different than it was 20 years ago, and it's been a wild run for me. I've banged girls from 25 to 50. Getting laid's been so easy, it's been mind-blowing. Don't you like this?
Mind-blowing.
Sucks.
Is this a local gentleman or is this some made-up article out of London?
No, this was sent to my email. And there is a picture, by the way. Jackson, you can corroborate that.
Of him?
Sir. No.
Are these gals from 20 to 50?
The gal that the story turns into.
Okay.
About a month ago, I walked into a small bar with a friend, and we were greeted by an incredibly attractive bartender. She's a St. Louis 8.5 or 9. She's 5'10", very fit, massive breasts, great hair, perfect smile, etc. She's a rocket ship.
Oh,
yeah, Victoria's Secret supermodel.
Yeah.
They're all
bartenders.
running around in bars.
In small bars, too, where they don't make that much money.
She and I immediately hit it off and were very flirtatious with each other. However, she was wearing a massive wedding ring, so I just played it off as some innocent flirting and nothing more. The next day, she added me on social media. The coming week, she messaged me when she was working again. The next time I showed up, her husband was there.
Oh, no.
Really nice guy. We talked sports and gambling and golf.
Okay, good.
Became fast friends. That's when I thought the story was going to end.
Where was it going?
Then Wednesday night, this week, it took a turn. I was sitting at the bar. She had invited me up and told me that they were both there and to come have a beer with them. After about 30 minutes, she sends me a text saying, "You're so effing sexy."
Oh.
To which I quickly replied, "You're so effing married." Now keep in mind, I'm sitting next to her husband, and she's standing behind the bar, right in front of me. About an hour or so later, the husband tells me he has to work early and he was headed to bed.
Oh.
He shook my hand. We exchanged goodbyes, etc. Then she made another comment about being attracted to me, and I sent her a text that I was quite confused about the situation. And she replied, "Stop it, you aren't confused."
Oh.
I asked, "Does your husband not care?" And she said, "Hang on, you'll be getting a message soon."
Oh.
5 minutes later, I get a message from him. "Hey man, I let my wife have friends. We like to have fun. Enjoy."
Oh.
An hour later, we're in a parking lot. She's stripped down butt naked and asking me to service her.
In the parking lot?
That's right. Yeah, Jackson was very critical of that. He's anti-parking lot sex, and I told him I had sex in a minivan in a Hilton Head outside of a strip bar.
Neither of them have a house.
Well, yeah, this sounds like they're outside in the parking lot, not in a minivan somewhere.
Yeah, that wasn't mentioned. Just that they were in a parking lot.
Just no sedans.
Yeah, Jackson's anti-sedans.
Yeah.
Crossover SUV are better.
Okay.
And Tim, guess what?
What?
She's tatted up and pierced everywhere. She has since called me to let me know she'd like this to be an ongoing deal for a while. So I have myself a little hot wife situation. She informed me this morning that she wants to blank on my blank and then blank and then blank in my blank.
No, we didn't need that.
We have a sporting one here. Stay tuned. There Will Be More, which was the title of the 2007 Daniel Day-Lewis film. Is that correct? Is that 2007?
I don't know the years.
He always stays in character on set. Has to be awkward.
Yeah, that's weird.
07.
That's weird.
The story or Daniel Day-Lewis?
I'm Abraham Lincoln, even when we're not working today. Okay, knock it off.
Sometimes you gotta be crazy to be the best.
Take yourself.
I'm a pompous ass even in commercial breaks, though, so it's something that I've been doing for 18 years. So, Doug, your reaction to this, and then Iggy will let us know what we have.
Made up. It's all made up.
Jackson saw the picture.
Yeah. Well, you can send a picture of anybody. What is the picture? Just a picture of the lady?
Yes.
Okay, well, it sure is hard to find a picture of a girl on the internet. It's all made up.
Iggy, your verdict.
Yeah, it's made up.
Wow, all right, that'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's so close to when I talk about my first time at the Hedo hot tub with the married lady.
Oh, that's where you got the idea?
Excuse me, I'm putting out a cigarette here.
He stole one of your stories?
Well, I mean, and he was right in front of me. Like when I say, and she's got her hand down, and he's standing right in front of me. And then he's, you guys are busy. Got your hand full. I'll leave you alone. The husband here just walks away. I mean, there's too many similarities or so.
But you hadn't told that story in 5 years.
I tell it once a week.
I don't know.
Guys, I think the term you are all looking for is ethical non-monogamy. It's not a cuckold. That's from the 636.
Yeah, we don't care about actual, medical definitions.
No.
That's kind of a downer if you're having sex and you look at the guy. You're an ethical blah blah whatever the guy just said.
Non-monogamy.
Non-monogamy. No, it's just easy to say you're a cuck. It's easier. But he wasn't.
Cuckold.
He wasn't a cuck. Just like according to the guy at the documentary, the husband here would be a cuck, even though he said enjoy. He's not a cuck.
No.
Guys, it's totally believable that a smoke show would work in a bar with a gigantic wedding ring and she'd want to bang in the parking lot. Now, if this is true, God bless this man. That's from Big Saggers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hello, Vivian?
Who's Vivian?
Vivian Azure. Doug, she was in the industry for about a week. The sea monster was trying to make sure that she was on the line there.
I don't think it's fake. I think it's a real story.
How about that?
That's not real.
I think it's real. Maybe
Hawk, where are you on this?
Maybe I'm naive.
It's 100% fake,
There-
bro.
Sure it is.
Dude,
If you
I've
have
seen
to question it, it's always fake.
I've seen small bars. I'm from a small bar community. Trust me.
There's
this
no 9.5.
chick-
I agree, Plot. There's no 9.5 working in a small bar.
Yeah, if you're talking like a
$50,000 wedding
wheelhouse situation or bottle service at one of the university bars making $2-3 grand a night, 100% more believable. A bar in Waterloo called like the
Drop in.
Yeah, come on, dude. There's no way.
Is there an erotic story that we sent in that any of you guys would think would be real?
Yeah, like Gangster Pete's buddy you beat off on I-70. Did you believe that?
That wasn't erotic.
Yeah, because who
probably
would-
not.
who would
No,
say
Seems
probably
like you
not.
guys every time we get one. It's
Well, don't they
because
always
Tim-
turn out to be fake?
Because Tim
No.
begs for him. Tim begs for him, and then
do.
he gets him.
A 9.5 smoke show with like a $20,000 wedding ring in a small podunk bar wants to have sex in the parking lot where the husband goes, have at it? Come on, dude.
Doug, you know Timmy the Tickler, right?
He's a weasel.
He says, I think it's real, or at least I hope so. And then he has a little finger cross emoji in there.
Yeah, the guys with half chubs are like begging for it to be real, but like you just gotta take that blood flow down and put it in your brain and realize that this is not real. I believe Susan Santiago and Becky Wiesberger are more real than this thing.
Wow. I don't doubt that people have crazy things. If you're busy with the nightlife scene and you're going in and out of bars and parties, crazy things are going to happen every now and then to people. It's the details that we might have a problem with. Like she was the most beautiful girl he'd ever seen, and she had an enormous wedding ring on, and maybe she was just not so attractive, and had a tiny little ring on, and was married, and there's a massive Hoosier thing going on somewhere. That I could probably believe.
Well, I've seen the photo.
See, Jackson's seen the picture.
I've seen the photo.
What does that prove? You've seen a
I can
picture
say
of a woman.
I can speak that she is an attractive woman.
There you go, Doug. Now do you believe it?
No.
I can
Sorry.
say that she is an attractive woman, and it's not unbelievable for an attractive woman to work at a bar, no matter what part of the country you're in.
Look at that. Jackson loves America.
I mean, you always see Victoria's Secret models in Steelville working at the
He never
That's all you
ever said Victoria's Secret model.
A 9.5 is basically a 10.
But there is no like standard scale. There's no like American hotness scale. You know, it's an eye of the beholder.
Look,
Well, here
if
you
you're
go.
a
Here's how
9.5 out of 10, you better be a damn smoke.
Here it is, Jackson. You look at the YouTube.
I sure can.
There.
Go ahead.
I had sex with her last night.
Well, you got a picture.
Yes, I had sex with her last night. We met in a bar. She took me out to the car. We had sex. Do you believe me?
I have no reason not to.
I took this off of Google.
Well,
How about that?
It's not that hard.
When you don't.
That was like Colonel Jessup on the stand right there. How does it feel?
Hello, Vivian?
Well, when you don't even crop it out and you have the Google search in the top, it's going to be pretty easy to decipher.
Well, I could have done all that. I just showed you how easy it is. Just go find a picture.
Jackson, how about that?
Here she is. I had sex with her.
But you just pulled up a professional model picture. This picture she took was a selfie.
Well, I could find many of those. I could just type in attractive selfie pictures and images, and there they are. Just go grab one.
Guys, this actually sounds like my ex-wife minus being an 8.5 and seeing if I'm okay with it beforehand. That's from the Birthday Hawk.
Oh, okay. Well, we are easily hoodwinked on this show.
That's why
it's
we
happened
have
to us
like,
many times before.
We have thick Kevlar skin now because of it. That's why we don't believe anything. We've been tormented in the past.
Now, if he sends in a picture, if we know who this guy is, like if we can find him, if he says, here's my name, I'm on Facebook, you go find a picture of him, now go give us a picture with both of you together, then maybe I'll think about it. But you just keep, if you want to send in a picture of a good-looking girl with tats, here she is. Oh, that's real. No.
Yeah, this isn't the early 2000s where just a picture from the internet is going to do. Like, that's not.
What are you getting out to eat, Fozzie?
Blueberry cake donut.
Nice.
Blueberry cake.
I bet that's a good treat.
Oh, it'll be real good.
And just the idea that there's a sprinkling of blueberries in here makes it health food.
Yeah,
it's a salad,
I feel better about it.
Basically a salad.
Guys, I'm in awe of what I just saw. Boots feels like he just tried a case and actually did something there.
No, I'm just showing how easy it is to get nothing against Jackson. If you believe it, you believe it.
Well, I know that
but there are a lot of attorneys who are going to use that.
But to say you believe it because you saw the pictures.
First day of
No,
school,
I'm not.
Let me get out my Android.
I'm not saying I believe it because I saw the picture. The reason I brought up the picture is because I can say that she is an attractive woman. Whenever you start saying like this number, that number, then you're going to bring in doubt. But I can just say that she's attractive. I believe the story because of the details.
So if he said she had a huge wedding ring on and you just saw a picture of a wedding ring, yep, that's real. Look at the ring he just took a picture of.
I don't know how the two correlate.
Well, you said that he said she was attractive, and I saw a picture of an attractive woman, so he must be telling the truth.
No, that's not. No, I said that the woman was attractive. The woman is attractive. I'm not saying that she is, a 9.5. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to say that she's any less than that, but she's.
Now, can we talk about the picture itself? Like, are she in a bar setting?
That's just a selfie.
Oh my gosh! Come on, boys.
Oh,
come on.
Yeah.
So that's why, because it's a selfie, it's not real.
Dude, I think it's. I'm with Iggy. I can pull up 10 selfies right now with duck faces on and go, yep, her husband Antonio Banderas just let me bang her right in the penthouse. And she was working at the Slippery Turtle.
No, they went to
Oh, come on. There's no bar called the Slippery Turtle.
We should open it. The TMA Slippery Turtle.
What's the one in Palm?
Firm.
Something turtle.
Cucina?
No,
You know about in
that's
Jupiter?
right.
Yeah.
The Thirsty Turtle.
Thirsty Turtle.
We had one of those in Columbia back in the day.
Yeah, good burger there.
There you go.
And there was a very attractive bartender worked there.
Did you sleep with her
I
in
should
the
just say
car?
I banged her and let me go find a picture. There she is.
Yep.
It's got to be real.
All right.
Iggy showed a picture.
Brian Henshin has sounded off, and Doug, as you know, he's covering that Colts situation.
Seems to be.
And they just traded Naheem Himes, which we'll get to in the appliance discounters 8 o'clock hour. Number one, get off your damn phone, Uncut Strode.
All right, what's number 2?
Shouts to the moron on the fan pin who accused y'all of talking too much sports. God, what an idiot. This show is still as crappy and non-sporting as it's ever been. That's from Brian Henshin.
Okay.
Show ombudsman. I don't think the gentleman was attacking. I participated in the thread. He just was asking if we talked more sports. And what I said on that particular day, when if this is the thread he's talking about, I could be thinking of the wrong thread.
No, I'm sure that's what he is.
That we had the Arnado situation, and we had the Blues at that time having lost, what was it, 4 in a row. Now it's 5. And the Battlehawks name announcement, Missouri beating South Carolina, Illinois beating Nebraska. So, Doug, you had would you call it a confluence of
I would
topics?
say that, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was very nice about it. He wasn't trashing the show. He was just asking a question.
Right. We had a nice discussion.
And then Tim had a nice response to it. So
Nice response.
you can
Tim.
actually have cordial conversations on the fan
Look
page
at that.
without trashing everybody.
You know, when I saw Tim's response, I go, wow, I've never seen a response quite like that.
Well done, Tim.
Plowhawk is now on the payroll. Plowhawk is now on the payroll. Guys, I genuinely enjoy listening to Jackson argue against Ken, and his level of frustration rising as Ken digs in deeper every time. That's from the Ilsida.
Oh.
I wouldn't describe it as an argument, more just discourse.
Not arguing.
Just tidy little discourse.
Yeah, I didn't understand his reasoning just because it was an attractive girl in the picture that he thought the story was real.
I just don't see why the person would have a reason to lie.
Well, because Tim asked for erotic stories, and somebody sits there and makes one up.
There
and knows
was
it's gonna
one
get read.
that was sent in, I don't know, a couple of months ago, and it was so damn long. But I'm telling you, I could tell that the gentleman was pleasuring himself as he wrote it.
Oh!
There's just not a doubt in my mind. It read like erotica. This one is a little more concise, and you know, if you say I got about $100, whether it's real or fake, I'm saying it's real. That's where I am. But I've also been, you know, I've been on board believing that the Swing Haven board member couple is real. What's another one that's been put to the test?
Tucker.
I don't know where I was on that whole thing. Buckswell might be able to let me know.
I sent you one in that seemed really real.
What was that?
One day I sent you in an erotic story on your QFTA.
Oh, that's right.
Sounded really, really real. I made everything up.
Did you?
Sounded good.
You don't need to make them up. All the stories
no,
you've got.
I've told pretty much everyone.
Not all 500.
The Crystal City Clamhammer has sent in a picture of, wow. It said, Timmer Jackson, is this the gal in question? And if so, it's 100% true. To answer your question, it is not. And the girl you sent in is phenomenal. Also, doesn't look like that picture would be taken in St. Louis.
Or this decade. Like we're in a Walkman.
Wow.
But holding like an iPad? I don't know. Is she like an adult starlet? I don't know. Tell that broad to holla at the DGGs. That's from Doug's Glue Guzzler.
DGG.
This broad isn't real.
Doug's Glue Guzzler, DGG.
Oh, okay.
Doug's Glue Guzzler, do you believe the story's real? Call in. It's a press conference Wednesday, 636-9004 TMA. Jackson, you tell us about Trish Wolf and the Wolfpack, who, boy, she gained a lot of fans yesterday by letting us know she was married at Hedonism.
Yeah.
I think posted pictures on the fan page.
She did. Yeah. I want to talk to you about Trish Wolf and the Wolfpack. You got to know Trish a little bit with her story yesterday about hedonism, and then Iggy commenting, I could tell you some stories about those chess pieces.
Nice.
The Wolfpack not only know how to have fun, but they're experts in the STL real estate market, and they check all the boxes. It's a 5-pillar approach, Doug. Five pillars.
How many pillars they got?
5. You want the first one?
Yes.
Experience. Team of agents with over 20 years of real estate experience. Expertise. Thousands of homes sold in the Mound City proper and the metro area. Pillar 3. Success. Their award-winning Zillow Premier team. The 4th is strategy. Proven processes that take you from planning to close and beyond. And the final pillar, maximum return on investment. The Wolfpack looks at each individual situation and structures a commission plan tailored to max your ROI. All of this while sponsoring the best morning show in St. Louis. Even if you're planning for 2023 or if your plans are a little up in the air, give Trish a text or a call today to begin an informal preliminary discussion. It's never too early. Reach out today for a no-pressure consultative meeting to discuss your goals. Have a real estate-related question? Text Trish at 314-807-WOLF. It couldn't be easier. Doug, you like a nice tagline?
Yes, I do.
Join the pack. They've got your back.
Wow! I don't mind it. I think that's okay.
How do you do? How do you do, Tommy Sabulka? Well, Doug, the answer is he's doing wonderful because he is operating VIP Auto Accessories. Part of the TMA ecosystem, VIP Auto Accessories works with Design Air Heating and Cooling, sponsor of our email today, official HVAC provider of TMA, and Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota. VIP Auto Accessories is your one-stop, full-service shop for all your auto accessory needs. They do van and truck upfitting for commercial fleet vehicles, provide graphic solutions for vehicles, retail office space, floors, windows, and more, and have a full array of public safety solutions, including for EMS and police fleets. VIP is now a full-service operation providing top-quality service and the ability to get it done now. VIP's one-stop shop will save you time and hassle, so go to VIPAutoaccessories.com or call Tommy Sabulka. He wants you to call him directly, 314-428-3900, or you can email him at tommy.cibulka@VIPAutoaccessories.com. VIP is the biggest secret in its industry, and now they are promoting their service for all to hear and to take advantage of the VIP quality and convenience. VIP, all local since 1979. Call Tommy Sabulka, 314-428-3900, or email him at tommy.sabulka@VIPAutoaccessories.com. It's the Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Alton Toyota, 7 o'clock hour. We welcome you to get involved for what has been a magical press. How many phone calls have we taken, would you say?
Well, one today, right? But at least one of the listeners did his part and provided us content
That's
with
what we're
this
looking
fake but erotic story.
And Jackson and I are voting. It's real. Doug, you're saying fake. Plowhawk, fake. Iggy feels like he tried the case and fake, and then therefore that means the Deus's vote is 3-2. Fake.
Yeah.
Fake erotic story.
Now, if we had a picture of the two of them together, maybe a picture of the lady behind the bar, maybe then it would sound a little bit more reliable.
Iggy, is there any chance it's real whatsoever?
Do we know who this guy is? I mean, do you know him?
I do.
So you know what he looks like?
I do.
So a picture of him and this girl together, I would say it's real if you do that.
All right.
Since people know what you look like.
Oh, people are good at Photoshop. I need.
Boy, they sure are.
Yeah, they have that thing now where, what do they call that that's going on, Jack?
Deep fake?
Thank you.
Oh, boy, that's scary.
Deep fake?
Yeah, it's where you can, basically, take an image of someone's face and put it on your own. There's a deep fake Tom Cruise that looks exactly like Tom Cruise. And, you could, theoretically, someone could do that, say whatever they want as that person.
Right, they make videos out of it where it looks like that person's saying it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so it's hard to prove anything anymore. You could fake all of that. But
deep fake technology is
since Tim knows what this guy looks like, send in a picture of her behind the bar with her tattoos and her piercings. And maybe a picture of the husband, too.
I can just picture the husband right now. I can't picture her, but I can picture the husband.
The retired Air Marshal, Doug, who called in, our one phone call for this press conference Wednesday to date. I would like to vote real, and considering I contributed with a call, I should count as a vote pushing the Deus to a tie. That's retired Air Marshal.
All right, we need to halt this and put the callers in their place.
I think maybe he has a legitimate point, and the next one who calls in can break the tie.
Oh, wow, what a huge moment. 636, Doug, clear the lines.
Clear the lines. All right, clear them. Let's get those lines cleared. All of them. We got no calls right now, but clear them all.
636-9004-TMA. Break the tie. Vote, is the story real or is the story fake? This is your chance, Doug. Fiction or nonfiction on the erotic story. And for the record, I believe all of Deebs' stories are real. He did pleasure himself on I-70 somewhere in Warren County. And he did pleasure himself while retrieving golf balls at a driving range.
What?
So I support that, for the record.
Yeah, but those stories, don't make him look good. So, I believe those.
Disagree.
Those are just, real sad but real
lonely.
stories.
Yeah.
The
And at this-
I-70 one is dangerous.
Yeah, that's a high-risk play.
What was turning him on in those two instances? Golf balls and what's on the highway turning you on?
Deebs call it.
Sounds like you're kink shaming.
Yeah, it does
Well, that's not a kink. That's against the law.
Guys, I'm calling in, but nobody answers. That's from the total.
Baloney.
Come on, Jackson.
Baloney.
Here's
Oh, I
like
thought Jackson said something else, and I'm like, wow.
Mr. Licks and Fix. Those calls have now like
They're filtered out.
They're opening up. Everybody thinking, well, I can't be as bad as that. And so now there's like there's no bar set for our calls anymore because it's so low that like the air marshal was like a breath of fresh air. But if you really go back and listen to it, it probably wasn't that great.
Well, not even close to being good.
Well, yeah, but in comparison, my point, like.
Well, in comparison, yeah. Well, I don't mind Fix anymore. It's Licks that I wish we'd just stop calling.
So you're on board with Fix, not on board
Well,
with
I'm not
Fix.
really on board with Fix, but he's not as bad as Licks. So if I had to choose between the two.
The guy, Crystal City Clamhammer, who sent in the picture of the lady in front of the chandelier, said, believe it or not, she is from my area, and I went to high school with her, and she is a bartender, and he gives an area, and she checks all the boxes of the story. This girl, Jackson, have you seen the picture from the Crystal City Clamhammer?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fine, right?
Yeah, oh my God.
Holy crap.
Full sleeves. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm, as a Tat fan, I am a fan of that, but just her appearance and the whole thing.
Right.
God, forget about it. Iggy, you want to take a gander? I'm sure you do.
Are sleeve tats fake? When you call it a sleeve tat, is that just a sleeve that looks like a tattoo?
Yeah, here, take a look. See what it's doing.
It's not a real tattoo. It's just a sleeve.
I mean, isn't that fun for the whole family? Look at that. That's the first time I've ever heard you describe a lady as cute.
Cute
And
as
especially, this
butt.
isn't what I would use as cute.
Well, I don't know how to describe, depending on the age, they're beautiful. If they're younger, I guess they're cute, they're attractive. I don't know.
Who do we have on here?
Stephen Wildwood.
Okay, because there's a number of people, but one is a lady, and I believe, Iggy, you probably don't want the call taken if I'm correct on
No,
who it
well, let's
is.
take it then.
What's her initial?
Dino's home.
Katie Cuck?
No, don't want to.
Sure, let's take it.
Oh, we got Stevie
Why
Boy
not?
on.
We'll take them all.
I'll go take a break. You guys can talk to her.
Here's Steve.
Hello, Steve. Steve.
How you doing, boys?
Yes, we're fine.
You got your own drops there?
Steve.
I'd like to break the tie.
Okay,
Hey, here we go.
Let's have it broken, please.
I think it's real.
Yeah!
I don't know.
You want it to be real.
Yeah, don't
Send me
listen.
the pic. I've been to
Not
every
sending me the
dive bar
pic. I
within
can't.
100 miles.
I can't send a pic. That would be. That
I've
would
been
be
to
a
every
breach of
dive bar
trust.
within 100 miles. I understand. And I have masturbated on 72 different
Oh, come on.
Cut that off. Boy, this I-70,
once-
dog, it must be hot.
Were you behind the wheel?
Once when I was in college, I had a girlfriend there, and I was really charged up to go see her in the middle of the night, and I had to release. And then the other time, I used to do a lot of work in Colombia, and it just gets boring. And
Wow.
so I did. I watched Lisa Ann porn while I did it, too.
Why would you feel like you have to tell us this?
Was the Olympia driving still around 70 then?
No, that was on St. Charles Rock Road.
Way back when? That had to be like 30 years ago,
I
right?
can see you pulling off the side of the road there, but
32 years ago? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you were sharing stories of people masturbating on 70s.
No, we're not. We're not. You've got the only one.
And
Doug, I'd like a tour. I'd like a tour of KMOV too.
You can't have it.
Why can't I?
Well, because
I
they don't allow visitors.
Okay.
And I'm not down there anymore.
Not according to the paper.
Yeah, the newspaper.
Well, he's on assignment so much. I mean, he grinded the pavement. He's never there because he's always, breaking stories.
Yeah, wearing a lot of shoe leather.
Yeah. I hear you, Doug.
No, well, I'm sorry. No.
That's okay, Doug.
I don't think they'd even
Come
know
down
who
and
I
have
am
dinner,
anymore.
though.
Been gone so long, they'd say, who's this guy giving a tour? Why is he chirping?
Boy, your first VO package back.
It's not a VO package. They don't call it that.
It's just voiceover.
Voiceover.
Do you still do Doug's Unplugged?
No.
No, when
You don't even do that?
No.
It's like Natty Nate.
Okay.
No.
I hear you. So you're retired.
Well, pretty much, yeah.
Don't listen.
Okay. I'm
Don't listen to Doug. The newspaper knows better.
I may do something part-time at some point, but I'm not. I haven't for a while.
That's in negotiation.
World Cup when you're gonna get Prod Joe back on the next month.
Could very well be that. Yeah. They may
Yes,
want
we
to
were
call me in for my
right.
soccer knowledge. So many people
Doug over
can
to
break down the
Qatar.
beautiful game like I can.
I'll tell you what, I'm excited for the World Cup. That's going to be fun to have it during the winter.
Agreed.
Yeah, I am
Especially
too.
like-
I love the World Cup.
Especially like the day after Thanksgiving. That is going to be a fun.
U.S. versus England.
They've
I
had
think
some
it's
good
at
watch
noon,
parties
too.
there at Ballpark Village for World Cup games.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
I
right when it started, right when it opened was the 2014 one, right?
I think so.
Yeah. That's nice. Some of the TVs are still they held up after all these years.
Yeah.
And they're nice in there for that type of thing. Other than that,
Okay.
I tend not to hang out in Ballpark Village.
Well, it's right across
He
the
is
street.
exhausted by this call.
Why are you so upset by
Do
the
you want me to
call?
go to Katie Cook?
No, I love Stephen Ballpark.
The audience is demanding in the text inbox
I love
that I go
Stephen
to.
Ballpark Village. Well, why don't you just go in the YouTube chat and chat with all of you?
Who? Stephen Wildwood or
No,
Katie Cook?
I love Stephen Wildwood.
So you don't want the Katie Cook call taken?
If you guys want to talk to her, I'll go smoke. I don't care.
Okay, well, you're about due to smoke anyway.
Yes, I have no interest in talking to her. That's why she's blocked.
Why won't you talk to her?
She has a very racy Twitter account.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
Clip that.
I was.
What a shock.
It said, you know how sometimes it gives you,
She's gone.
Yeah.
You get you.
Yeah, she don't want to talk about the Twitter account probably. But it, the notification said you and Andy Hanselman or Andy Hanselman is friends with this person on Twitter, and I click on it and I'm like, oh my God, because I saw the star tattoos, and I was like, I think that's Katie Cook.
Oh yeah,
and it was right, and it is very racy. I don't know. I'm guessing she's fine with it. But
have you ever done some racy modeling yourself, Steve?
Oh hell no!
Haven't.
I mean, I should have when I was younger. I was like, I was a good-looking guy then.
No
Now
worries.
I'm
Strapping.
Kind of fat now. I gotta lose some weight, Doug.
Yeah.
What are you looking to
she's
lose,
back.
Stephen? Well, Katie Cook is back. Why is she popping up and disappearing?
Yeah, another hit. Another hit down the hall.
She was on with
Ask her
Randy
about her
Character.
Twitter account.
Yep.
By the way, Iggy, that story of the guy who banged the bartender sounded nothing like your Hedo thing.
Oh, there were some similarities.
Most of us didn't even
What?
think about
What,
your Hedo
because the
experience. when we-
husband?
Oh, and then standing in front of me and
I don't think it was. I mean, it's a lot different, I think. I mean, because the husband.
it was a lot
texted him.
different.
I mean,
Mine was real and his wasn't. There's a difference.
I think his is real. I'm going with it. There's some freaks out there right now. Plus, I think a lot of people in the real world outside the show use the old English definition of cuckold.
Cuckold.
It's old English.
It's basically just cheating on your husband.
That's
or wife
Iggy's.
or
That's
whatever.
Iggy's definition.
Yeah, that's the real definition.
That's the real definition. But I think so. This is a cuckold.
Iggy, you agree with Steve?
No, she gave permission. It's not cheating if he gave the okay.
It's still cheating.
How's
I mean,
it cheating
they're
if you get the
married.
okay?
If you have sex with someone else, you're going outside of your marital vows. So you're cheating.
No, you cheat if your
I disagree with that
significant other doesn't know. That's cheating. If you both agree, like say in your marriage vows you say we're getting married, but you can have sex with whoever you want to, and so can I. Perfectly, we agree on that. Then it wouldn't be cheating. You both agree on it. You know what's happening.
I don't think you'd have that right in the vows. It'd be kind of an awkward ceremony,
No,
wouldn't
but
it?
I'm-
The
But
parents
Doug, as
would-
you recall at my wedding, when Pastor Pete said, and it is not cheating if it's with the same sex,
Yeah.
so there was an audible gasp.
Yeah, I would think the whole crowd would go, oh,
So there'd
and
be
the
no
parents
cheating.
would look around and say, what the?
But if you just agreed to before you got married, well, it's not cheating. You both agreed to it.
I guess you're right. I guess I just consider it all cheating, because you're not with your person you're married to. But
So swinging,
I don't
if you're swingers, then you're cheating. You think the Smiths cheat with each other?
Yeah.
They're swingers.
I think
That's
I think
their whole
it's
lifestyle
cheating.
is
I mean, you're not having sex with your partner. I mean, whether it's okay or not, I still consider it cheating. You know.
When is it okay to kiss a guy?
It's not.
Well, we will agree to disagree.
Right, there you go. Also,
look at that.
I love
That was civil discourse, Doug.
Plowsy, I love that the P&G podcast pops up on my thing annoyingly every day. I just love it.
Isn't it
keep
funny?
doing it.
Yeah,
And the people that
Yeah,
are
it's
begging
hilarious.
for it to come off as if we're like going to be sympathetic to them is even funnier. So
It's
get
almost
ready,
as
boys.
funny as it's almost as funny as Jackson having NBA updates on the balloon party.
It
It's just as funny
infuriates.
as that.
We get about 10 texts immediately every day at 10:30 or 10:40, as the case was yesterday, when he does his Sports Center update and has an NBA update.
Well, there's a lot of news today, so we'll be getting to it.
There's no NBA news.
Oh, Doug, Steve Nash.
Steve Nash.
That
What
was
up, B.
yesterday.
Madoka?
That was yesterday.
Yeah, someone's got to update it.
What are you going to update it with? They have
The
a new coach
Kyrie
to replace him?
situation.
No, they're thinking about bringing in Ime Udoka.
Okay, well, all of St. Louis is talking about that.
Stephen Wildwood, Doug's glue guzzler, is mad at you. Do you guys know each other?
I have no idea who he is. I really hate all these people who use these fake names and act like we really care who they really are. God forbid someone would find out who the hell you are. You're telling your stupid stories on the radio.
I'm with you.
That annoys me.
We
But
don't
what
need
did he
so much
say?
anonymity.
He said it's the worst Stephen Wildwood take ever. This dude is a prude. I bet his wife and him love missionary. That's from Doug's glue guzzler.
I try. I like taking her from behind. So.
When is it okay to kiss a guy?
Okay, we've asked that enough.
No, maybe it is a little slow. I don't know. I'm a little older, so I probably do have more classical look at what marriage should be and is. So, I mean, I don't know. But if my wife said, I want to bring another girl to bed, I'd be like, yeah, please. Now, if she said, I want to bring another guy to bed or I want to sleep with a different guy, I'd be like, no way.
So you would acknowledge that there is a double standard there.
Sure.
Oh, for sure.
Amen.
And I tell her that all the time, and she agrees with it, too.
And that's why I was so passionate about having those in my marriage vows. Mr.
guys-
Smith is now
guys
active
are
and says
gross.
swingers aren't cheaters unless they're cheating in the truer sense of the words. Get a grip. That's from
Hey,
Mr.
come on.
Smith.
I like Mr. Smith, too. He's a nice guy. I mean, I just
But you have condemned him to hell for cheating.
No.
Yeah, why do you hate these
I didn't
people,
say
Steve?
that. Yeah, they're going to hell because they're cheating. No, I don't think so. If there is a hell, I don't know. But I
That's
think
our
there's
9 o'clock
people
hour
who
topic.
do it-
I'll be there.
People who do it a lot
Jackson's
worse
going to bring it up on Balloon
they're
Party.
It's all about levity, baby.
gonna go. You're going to hell for those NBA updates, that's for sure.
I'll go happily if
Andy-
that's what it takes.
And you're Jewish. That's the other thing. I'll send you to hell too. But, I'm just joking, by the way. Please. But that brought it to a standstill.
Well, kind of.
But I apologize to the glue guzzler, and I apologize to everybody who's Jewish because I did not mean that at all. I love all you guys.
With a very quick
and
apology. All right, Steve.
you
I think it's
guys-
best to
you guys-
just move on at this point.
We got Kyrie Irving on here. Come on. But I dumped it. So.
And Katie
People
Cook is on the line
YouTube.
now?
I guess technically she is.
Oh, okay.
Hey, you're on, I see, active, looking up statistics.
No, I was looking at an email.
Got a quick email you need to just check
I
on
got
in?
an email the other day in the morning about something, and I didn't read it, and I looked at it at like 11 o'clock, and I had something to do with 8 o'clock, so I checked my email.
Okay.
So I checked
Timely.
my email. So. No, if you go to her, I'll go take a break.
Doug, let's vote on the dais as to whether or not we take the call.
I think that the audience would want us to take the call.
I agree.
Another big sip of champagne.
I stand by Jeannie.
See you.
Okay.
Jackson?
I think we should take any and all call.
Yeah,
The press conference Wednesday.
We can always eject.
Right.
We can always eject. Katie, good morning. Welcome to the Steve Schmidt Kia North County phone lines. Unfortunately, Ken Strode has to leave the studios.
Gesture of defiance.
Not defiance in the least.
Oh.
Doug, this is Katie.
Okay. You guys are at loggerheads? Thank you.
I'm kind of sad, Darren, that you're standing with Penny. That's not fair. I thought we were cool.
I have a podcast with him, and he holds grudges. So I think it's best to stay on my compadre's side here. I try to be a neutral party at mostly all incidences like this.
I was just just trying to call in to break the tie because I 100% believe it's real. I don't know if my guys are so thrown off by she's an 8.5 or 9. If she was 7 or a 6, would that be more believable?
Yeah. Yeah, it would.
I believe it's real.
Okay.
I'm here. The audience wanted it. Kenny left.
Oh. Why is he so upset?
You have to ask him because honestly, I don't even know at this point. It's been a 15-month grudge.
God, yeah, I didn't even realize that it has been that long.
It has been long.
Yeah, I don't know what the source of it is. I just know that he is, and I know that I love Iggy and would do anything for him. So I'm sure he has his reason, but I actually don't know what the reason is. So I don't know. Whatever.
I'm sure he does too. It was a horrible, horrible night. I can say I've apologized multiple times for that night. I mean,
but nobody did anything against their will.
No, I just, I think it was. I mean, it was I was not myself. I was a very drunk person. I apologize for vomiting in a sink. I don't know why I did. For using 3 towels instead of 2 towels or 1 towel. Why I took a shower, I don't even know still. But, I think he said the DMs bothered him, so he blocked me. I apologize.
What do you mean the DMs bothered him? I don't know what this DM.
There was a few DMs afterwards. I sent him a few photos, different things, try to have small talk conversation. Iggy didn't really engage or say anything, and then next thing I know, I was blocked.
Huh.
Well, did he? So maybe it was the chatting afterwards that he didn't like.
I'm sure. Part of me was trying to. You hear. We had the night at the patio. We end the night. Everything's good. We're all good. You hear the talk on the show.
Everything was good after as you left. You'd vomited and you'd serviced him, and everybody was happy.
Yeah, we texted a little bit the morning after and just said, I apologize for what happened. I learned more about what happened afterwards from Chad because I was pretty drunk about some of the things I had done in my behavior. So I, wanted to apologize. And then I said, what are we going to talk about on air the next day? I'm trying to prepare for this conversation. And, he just said, we'll say I showed you were, I was smooth. You showed me your pierced nipples and we're good.
Flip that off.
As soon as we get on the air, Tim says, don't tickle my balls. And here we go. So me and Iggy have never truly had a conversation about what happened or anything about that night after that night.
Maybe that can happen on Pepper and Jeannie as this podcast continues to just gain traction.
Yeah, it does.
It would be probably just me then. No offense, Katie. Yeah. I just if I had to play that hand correctly.
So then I wonder if Iggy was uncomfortable with the DMs afterwards, because if you guys were on good terms after you had left, and it didn't sound like the vomiting was a big issue at the time, Doug, vomit's going to happen. That maybe it was the DMs. Because to me, this is where I disagree with Steve. If all parties are on board, as somebody who's enjoyed group sex, then I don't view it as cheating at all. But if my wife were to be privately communicating with somebody and lying to me about it, I view that more as cheating. So it just depends on what your perspective is on it. So then maybe he felt he was in an uncomfortable spot because your husband didn't know if your husband knew that you were DMing him, and now he felt like this was something that he didn't want to be a part of, and that's why he blocked you. Would that be fair, do you think?
I mean, fair, except for I don't feel like with the way me and Chad's relationship is, the stuff that was sent I wouldn't say it was cheating between me and Chad's relationship. So if it made Iggy uncomfortable, I'm sorry it made him uncomfortable. I mean, simply a conversation that said, this makes me uncomfortable would have sufficed. I would have stopped whatever. They weren't all inappropriate. They weren't all, whatever. Some of them were funny. Some of them were, whatever. I'm just a human. If you make somebody uncomfortable, say the words, you make me uncomfortable, please stop. But this is Iggy we're talking about, so. I mean, I've listened to my name get dragged through the mud. I've listened to the story of the patio get twisted 1,000 times on the air, that I go around and tell the story to everyone. Really, the truth is everybody comes up to me and says, I want to hear what happened. Tell me about Iggy. Did you really give him mouth play? Did, all the things. They happened. But, I don't mind. I've taken shots. I enjoy it. I enjoy the show. I still am a fan of Iggy as much as he hates me. I will still continue to try to be in good graces.
Well, Daddy Padre and Iggy healed their relationship. Maybe you guys can
I
heal
was
your
there.
relationship.
I missed it. I missed my chance. Apparently, I should have jumped on board that night at CMA Live.
Yeah,
and
it was a
got
big
on
forgiveness night. It was a big forgiveness night.
I don't know if he was there yet.
Now, producer Joe and Iggy have not yet shared an olive branch.
That's true, but that's more of a producer Joe thing initially. And I'll tell you this, as far as grudge holding goes, producer Joe is, I don't know if there's anybody at a higher level than
he's
producer
awesome
Joe.
at it. He's really good at it.
Anybody stand out to you? Not the names that we're comfortable using?
No, no name comfortable using.
Yeah, that's the key.
You got a couple, but
right.
I feel like I definitely take the number one spot now. So I feel like Joe probably stands a better chance at forgiveness and grace than me.
I don't know. Man,
Wow, that's a nice poll question.
Yeah,
Gallup poll. Doug, you want to do a Gallup poll?
Well, it wouldn't be a Gallup unless it's done by the George Gallup organization.
Mr. Licks says, kindly ask her why she's such a hater of Mr. Licks. That's from Mr. Licks.
Oh, you hate Licks, do you?
I don't hate him. I enjoy some of the content. The calls sometimes drag on and are a little long.
Yeah.
I felt like he took a little shot when he was trying to get under Iggy's skin about the patio night at me about the vomit in the sink. But I have no beef with Licks. His calls just sometimes are straight up awful.
Well, there are a number of people who share your opinion at the same time, Mr. Licks. Doug, what do you say? Because you did a Gallup poll on him. He has a 48% approval rating, whereas Mr. Fix is trending at around 9%.
Well, I don't know.
But Mr. Licks was probably about 63% and just had a rough couple weeks.
Yes,
Some people
he did.
think Michael Wellington rattled his cage. Katie, anything else? Any other statements you'd like to make? Ken has, of course, vacated the studio.
No, it's always a pleasure talking to you guys.
Wonderful
Big
talking
fan.
to you, Katie. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you,
Katie
gal.
Calling in, trying to figure out why Iggy dislikes her.
Yeah. Well, she blew groceries in his slop sink. I think that's the genesis of it all. But she seems like a nice enough gal.
Mr. Licks, not happy. She posted 5 times on the fan page, backpedals just like her compadre she had in her mouth.
Oh.
Mr. Licks.
All this in the midst of a 5-game losing streak by the Blues.
That's right. We'll see the Isle in town tomorrow night. Let me answer this question for her regarding Mr. Licks. He's a complete liar, loser, poor, and a douchebag. Doug, that's the worst one. It's whack.
Oh, he's a poor.
What up, wacko?
Yes, let's have the woman who nuzzled the decaying, unclipped anteater in a FEMA trailer and then threw up Fazoli's all over the sink to break the tie. Here, guys, let me help you out. Unless it's Carl, Adam, or Steve, don't answer the phones.
I'm actually all for that.
If it's Mr. Licks or Mr. Fix, definitely don't answer, or at least give them some fake sales leads for the Avon winter catalog. A lot of stay-at-home, quote-unquote, boss moms looking for work with the artisan charcuterie board thing, costing their husbands $1,000 per quarter at Trader Joe's and Target.
That was from Carlos Spicy Wiener.
That is correct.
I can
I
tell
didn't
his
even
writing
announce it.
style.
Yep.
No.
That's why he's a Hall of Famer. Tervis Parrish says Facebook is for the poors. It explains why Licks is on the fan page. That's from Tervis Parrish. Is Facebook for the poors?
I don't think so.
Ernie, social media platforms for the poors? I didn't know.
I don't think it is, but I love the idea of Facebook being for the poors.
I think it's for the olds now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that accurate, Jackson? Like, what percentage of your friends have Facebook accounts?
They all have Facebook accounts. They never, ever post on it. Sometimes girls will post, like, photo albums on there, but never. No one's, like, doing a status update. That's reserved for, no offense, the olds.
And a status update is what exactly?
Like when you post something, like I'm not going to go out
you're
there.
just posting something as a status update?
That's what it used to be called. That's what it used to be called. I don't know. They changed it up so much. But, yeah, like, none of my friends are out there, like, actually posting on Facebook. And those who do are, like...
It's where now? Instagram or TikTok or...
Twitter, Instagram. Instagram is for sure the most popular with my generation.
And even then, it's just a picture, right? It's not a comment or...
Yeah, but let me tell you something. Jackson, my sources tell me everything's about the DMs, and it's basically like a dating app, those DMs. And I don't even know I would call it dating, Doug. It's just a hookup app.
Instagram is?
It goes down in the DMs.
Yeah, think about that.
All right.
Slide into my DMs, bro.
Stop telling me that.
No, yeah, Instagram. Well, and Instagram can just be photos, but you can actually get a lot of information because the comments section there's no like character limit, so you can get off more than a tweet and just throw an image on there.
Okay.
Caller Dan may be calling to review what we just heard. I don't know if he's on the line or not.
He isn't.
We've been enjoying some texts. That would be wonderful. Iggy, Katie is on, and she is now off the air. One of the things I was wondering as to why you are not a fan, and I think this might be something, but maybe I'm incorrect, because I take myself back to that time, because initially you did not dislike her, but then I felt like you got uncomfortable with all the direct messages. Am I correct on that? And she apologized for that. Because I said, it seemed like everybody were all willing participants the night of the slop sink, but then when you were getting DMs, that's when you blocked her, because perhaps you were like, yeah, that's not what we signed up for, and maybe her husband isn't on board, and I don't want to be a participant in something when you have a family. Is that fair?
That and some other things that I haven't gotten into.
Oh, wow, Doug.
Oh, no.
I don't know that then.
Well, are you going to get into them?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
It's, I told her that I wasn't going to say anything. And she called in, and that's when I knew about the throw-up.
So you didn't know that she had vomited in your sink?
I didn't know.
So it got washed. You washed it
Well,
away.
I was wondering why I wanted to wash up before I went to bed, and the water wouldn't go down.
Oh, Doug, it had
the water in the sink wouldn't?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I'd be
So this was not a kitchen sink. This was your bedroom
bathroom
sink?
Bathroom sink.
literally clogging a toilet and going,
I
all
don't have
right,
an
guys, see you later.
This is your ensuite.
I don't have an ensuite, no. But there's some other things that I said I'm not going to get into. I mean, I could say a lot of things, but I don't.
Look at that, Doug. That's all we're going to get from the man.
I could say a lot of things, but I don't.
Look at that.
Well, there's a number of things.
Guys, my guess is Iggy took a butt plug unwillingly that night.
Oh.
That's from Scissor Me Timbers. I don't get that sense.
No, I'd tell you if I did that. I got no secrets.
Stephen Wildwood says, I would like to make a statement. Doug, are you taking any statements?
Yes,
here?
we'll take a
We're
statement.
still in the Munganess 7 o'clock
Okay.
hour, I'm okay with anything people want to do. I think it is cheating based on your marriage vows. But I cast no judgment on Mr. Smith or anybody else who does that. And also, to be fair, he said a St. Louis 8.5 or 9, so therefore I think it's real. Steve Wildwood.
That made it real, an 8. I think he said a 9.5, actually.
I think he said 8.5 or 9. I
Did
think.
he?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can pull up the email.
I mean, there's attractive girls in St. Louis, but just because he said that, I know it's real.
Oh, we all want it to be real.
Either way, I don't
How
care
many
either way.
dime piece St. Louisans females are working at
well, this is in the
truck stop bars?
This is in the Festus Crystal City area, apparently.
If she got a fat rock on, that would be a sugar daddy. She wouldn't be working. So it just doesn't add up.
No.
Yeah, I see how you're piecing your judgment on whether or not to fold or to shove all in, Plowhawk.
I guess
I follow that. But was it mentioned that the wedding ring was large? I don't recall.
Yeah, it was
okay.
a feature. That was a focal point at the very beginning of the story.
But I think that I don't know if that was being used as like it's just like she has a very apparent wedding ring, not necessarily like the diamond is huge. It's like narrative part.
I thought the word huge was used.
Well, let me
It
pull up
was.
the email.
I remember she was wearing a big wedding ring.
Okay.
But I think it was to like show that like she's very clearly married.
I guess they find.
I don't wear my wedding ring. Doug, you wear your wedding ring? I don't wear my wedding ring.
Is it possible that they own the bar?
But it's got nothing to do with like going, hey, ladies, I'm available.
Is it?
I just don't wear it.
Is it possible that someone just enjoys working at a bar, enjoys the social?
Well, I guess if you're
benefits
trying
that
to
come
bang
from
them
that?
two at a time right in front of your husband,
Or
I
you
guess it's probably a
moonlight.
good market.
You moonlight. You do something else in the morning, and then you work at the bar at night.
If you make good money.
Okay, you're right. You guys right now only base. She was wearing a massive wedding ring.
Massive.
Now that changes. That's.
Oh, Jackson, are you about to short the stock?
No. But to my point, where I was thinking it was more narrative than it was descriptive. Now I think that she actually was wearing a big diamond.
How about this, Iggy? Tim, my wife doesn't work at a bar, but nonetheless, I am now giving you the green light. Good luck and have fun. You're the best at Scott's Wrinkled Ball Set.
Oh, how about that?
Giving you?
Yep.
Oh.
You thought it was you for a moment, didn't you?
No.
You were heading to the peninsula.
No, it's usually.
I saw leave the show.
I saw everybody might go limp.
No, mine would.
Everyone's flaccid.
No, it's normally he's offering his wife to your wife. And
That's
now,
correct.
But now
That is-
you get her.
Right.
I would talk to Anna Marie about that one.
Do you think that'll go well?
Won't go well, but at least you got to give it a shot.
Yeah, but you got to drive to the mounds, take a pillow jump, or take a puddle jumper.
Pillow jumper.
You're flying from Cahokia?
You got to fly?
To
You have
the
to
peninsula?
fly to the peninsula?
I mean, they're
Sounds
on an
expensive.
island. Yeah, you got to fly there
It'd be
and
worth
then
it.
boat in.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fortunately, I'm not getting these invites.
I don't last that long to make that kind of commitment.
That surprises me. I would think you have nice stamina.
Oh, but once that blood flow gets there, I mean, you gotta. It's
Just
like,
because you're so well hung that it's not healthy for you to last
I'm
long?
not saying I'm not saying I'm a mandingo over here. I understand where that might have said, but yeah, I'm in and out. They're pleased. I'm pleased.
Stephen Wildwood is a fine American, all good with him. That's from Mr. Smith. I'm reading a million texts here. Boy, we're getting a lot of texts.
I'm still trying to figure out where you live in St. Louis when you live on a peninsula on the Mississippi River. I can't place it. Is it way up there by Alton somewhere?
Probably.
I believe so. I think so. Because they drove Larry home, and then Larry tried to get involved in a
he
MF.
did, yeah.
And it was broadcast somewhere.
Did he go topless?
I have no idea.
I think they insisted that he doesn't.
Doug, I am married, but you are welcome to either of my holes. Thanks. That's from the total
Oh,
package. So
nice.
we're all getting
Okay.
propositioned here
Package.
this morning. This is unbelievable to see.
They all want to go private.
Guys, the large wedding ring is a red herring. So many women have rings that contain a ton of tiny stones surrounding a larger stone. It makes a 1-carat ring look like a 4-carat. Very few are wearing $100,000 rings, and none of them are working at a bar in Festus. Thank you. That's from a lawyer.
Well, I don't think any of us said it's a 6-figure ring. I said 10 to 15 grand, which a massive ring obviously could be faux diamond. I mean, but that amount on your finger and your husband chilling, watching you work, I just don't. It doesn't add up to me. And then
I don't understand why there's the hatred for the cubic zirconia rings that look just like a diamond, and cost a fraction as
They
much.
look good, yeah.
Especially when you can lose a diamond, it can be stolen from you, and nobody really can tell. I mean, you have to get right down on top of it and look at it to tell the difference between cubic zirconia and a real diamond. And yet most women would have nothing to do with a cubic zirconia diamond.
Well, they think your husband's cheap.
Yeah. But wouldn't you be better off taking that $50,000 or so and investing that or buying a house or something? Wouldn't that be better
when it
use?
comes to a wedding ring, that's not the way it works.
Well, I know, but it should.
Yeah, like my fake Rolex. You know how many times that got me laid?
Probably none.
Quite a few.
People would just look at your watch and say, okay, I'm going to take my clothes off.
And guys,
That's really how it
well, it
worked.
had a lot to do with me too.
Really how it worked.
But guys dug it.
Guys went to bed with you because of the watch?
No, they
Richard?
didn't.
By reading texts.
No, they hit on me though.
They did not. Guys hit on you because you had a fake Rolex watch.
Especially at Balaban's. Balaban's, that was a meat there.
You were the meat.
Is caller Dan on the line? He says, I'm in. Is he in, Jackson?
No.
I didn't think so. Try one more time.
Maybe he's in on the story. He believes it.
He's very enthusiastic.
I really want to
I think he wants to litigate the Katie Cook thing.
Try one more time.
I have no clue what she said, so I can't.
All right, let's see if he's just 636-9004 caller Dan. Cybersecurity is the most exciting career in technology and one of the most in-demand. Centric can train you for a career in cybersecurity, and they can do it in just 4 months. Centric's hands-on program teaches you the actual job skills you need to get started. No history, no biology, just technology. That's how they do it in just 4 months. Even if you have no IT experience, and you can do it online, you can do it in person, you can do it in the evenings, or you can do it during the day, whichever works best for you. If you're interested in a career in cybersecurity, call Patrick Nealon at Centric Training today, and he'll walk you through Centric's cutting-edge program and show you everything Centric does to help get you started in your new IT career. Call 314-450-4714 or go to centric.com/STL. That's CENTRIQ.com/STL. Cybersecurity is a problem for every business in St. Louis. You can be part of the solution. All right, we'll wrap up this Munganess St. Louis Acura Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour here. It's 8:34, so I think this is the time to do it.
Okay.
We'll come back with the appliance discounters 8 o'clock hour. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning Game.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Watch TMA on YouTube. Click the bell to subscribe. Download the podcast. Find it at tmastl.com or wherever you podcast. And check us out on TikTok at TMASTL.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day, the Tim McKernan Show podcast, featuring long-form interviews with people from the world of sports, politics, and entertainment.
And our guest today, Bill McClellan. Thanks so much for coming in.
Hey, my pleasure, Tim.
What's up, Caden?
Hi, how are you?
Joe Buck, our guest today.
Man, it's like I haven't seen you in years.
More than 500 episodes and counting, and it's available wherever you get your podcasts, including the TMA STL app. Get the app now at tmastl.com.
Hey, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that's always a great time to gather at Rosalita's. Why not start off with a happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m.? Enjoy happy hour specials including $3 off of appetizers like the wildly popular carne con cerveza, marinated steak cooked to order and served on a sizzling skillet. The patio is heated and covered, plus Rosalita's offers live music on Thursdays and mariachi every weekend. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's.
Okay. Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
And now the Pepperoncini Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Stroh. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Pepperoncini.
Pepperoncini.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at tmastl.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever.
Doug Vaughn here alongside Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert. Ryan, a lot of people need cash and they need it now, but they maybe don't want to refinance their mortgage. What can you do to help them?
No, you're not kidding about that. A lot of folks refinanced or bought a house in the last couple of years, and they have this really low interest rate, 2.5%, 3%, and they know they have $100,000 in equity or whatever that number is, but they just don't want to refinance that loan. And that's why we have a home equity line of credit at the Home Loan Expert. We can tap into the equity and get you the cash you need without touching that low rate on the first mortgage you have. It's a great solution when you need to pay off those credit cards, when you want to make those home improvements, or you want to just get caught up on the bills finally now and put some cash in the bank. A home equity line of credit can give you all of those things without replacing that current low rate first mortgage. Got questions? Ready to get pre-approved? Let's talk. It all starts today by visiting thehomeloanexpert.com.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan for Design Air Heating and Cooling. I am a very happy client. Design Air Heating and Cooling and Seth Goldcamp and his incredible staff, which you can find online at designairservice.com. Just go to the website, click on the Book Now tab, and any issues you may be having with your HVAC system, they will take care of immediately. The customer service, second to none. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com. There's a lot of common sense and Western wisdom like don't squat with your spurs on and always drink upstream from the herd. And there's also some Western wisdom that's less common, like never steal from a bear or what you can't make for yourself, or a man doesn't know his worth until he's eye to eye with a rattlesnake holding a toad. I'm sure there's a good lesson in there somewhere, but there's one lesson that is perfectly clear. A Fistful of Bourbon is an award-winning blend of 5 straight bourbons and as smooth as a banker on Friday. Get wise and pick up a bottle today. Don't be a damn fool. Please enjoy responsibly. Imported by William Grant & Sons, New York, New York.
With the fall's cooler weather upon us, we hope you'll let Lime Concrete Block help you with all of your landscaping projects. They've been a locally owned and operated manufacturer since 1947, priding themselves on their quality of their products and the customer service they provide. Lime Block offers a complete line of fireplaces, outdoor living kits, decorative retaining wall blocks, ready-mix concrete, masonry block, as well as concrete parking curbs and air conditioning slabs. Please visit their showroom off South Broadway at 326 East Courtois or visit them online at limeblock.com. Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Hey, if you like the morning after, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. HD1, by the way. It's Sports Talk with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. each weekday, right after the morning after. It's the worst named show in the history of radio, but the content's pretty good, so check it out on 101 ESPN or get the podcast on the TMA app.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Check out listener rewards on the new TMA mobile app. Watch the show live on the TMA studio cams. Find it at TMASTL.com. Get the podcast on the TMA app. Download it now.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2. The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPNT FM HD2.
Collinsville, St. Louis.
Yeah, you're right. This week, Wednesday, sickest to date. It's the Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour. Hello, friends. Welcome. Yes, it is starting at 8:40. This is why I have problems with the clock on 101 ESPN. I can't get that clock right.
You just barely missed. I mean, to miss by 40 minutes is not that much.
Thank you.
That's just a couple of sly comments or two.
Thank you. We had the phone lines were loaded up.
They were lit.
Yeah, it's a press conference Wednesday. You can get involved. 636-9004 TMA. Steve Schmidt-Key, North County phone lines. And, of course, text in to the Engineer Design Facilities text inbox, 314-881-TMA5. Email in. A lot to work with today for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day, the morning after, at InsideSTL.com. And what you can do is become a friend of the Feather, Doug, just like Marco Bertorelli is, isn't he?
Well, he's a friend of the show, and I guess he's a friend of the Feather. He's a Cardinal fan. Sure, why wouldn't he be? But the holiday season is here now, I suppose, and we all know that getting a gift for that special somebody isn't always easy. They've got the answer for you at Bertorelli, though. If you or anyone you know is looking for a gift that's a cut above the rest, let me suggest you check out the fine folks over at Bertorelli Cutway. They're located on the Hill, family-owned and operated business since 1974. Support local. Swing on down to the Hill and see our friends there at Bertorelli. They have an awesome showroom with a variety of kitchen tools and gadgets, mixers, and, of course, some world-class knives. They got those Wusthof knives. Also, they'll sharpen your knives at Bertorelli just in time for Thanksgiving. Slice your turkey up like a pro with your freshly sharpened tools, courtesy of Bertorelli. Don't settle for a gift card or the same lame sweater this holiday season. Instead, you should cut to the chase and choose Bertorelli. Located 1927 Marconi Avenue on the Hill, and you can call them. I'll give the phone number now. 314-664-4005. I'll do it again. 314-664-4005. Or visit them online at BertorelliCo.com. That's Bertorelli Cutlery, home of the Chop Chop Cheeky Girls.
There it is. You won't wait weeks at Appliance Discounters if you are in need of an appliance right away. They have an 80,000 square foot warehouse filled with GE appliances along with other brands. You can't wait weeks when your refrigerator, washer, or dryer goes out, so come into one of their showrooms today and they'll deliver it tomorrow. If you're building or remodeling your home, you don't need your appliances right away. They can hold them for you. And remember, you can always shop online at theappliancediscounters.com. That's theappliancediscounters.com. Ladies and gentlemen, sound stories are getting booked up, and it is a perfect time to do it. We are in November, and this is the time to book them or to just get the gift certificate for the holiday shopping season. It is a gift you will never regret giving. We've all seen how things can change so quickly here over the last couple of years, and you want to make sure that you have your loved one's story saved forever in their voice, and you can do that by going to mysoundstory.com. Doug is available. I am available. Jackson is available. Learn from KC95 is available, and we will have an announcement very soon on a substantial expansion of the personalities who will be available as well. You can book a gift certificate right now at mysoundstory.com and get the gift certificate for your holiday shopping taken care of right now. It's mysoundstory.com. com and probably check it out, and then you should think about it. That's correct. You should think about it.
Don't think about it long. Get it done.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Doug, I don't know. I don't know if you're an Athletic subscriber. I am, and so that's where I read Jeremy Rutherford stuff. And Katie Wu had the
Kenny Wu
Nolan Arenado story. Really, I posted this link on the fan page, and I know some people aren't subscribers to it, so it's behind a paywall. But if you are a subscriber to The Athletic, I would recommend reading what Jeremy Rutherford had to say in his story. He spent time with Doug Armstrong yesterday, and the Blues recognize that this is a little bit different than previous problems. On top of it, it's the first time it's ever happened during Craig Berube's era. He had never had a 4-game streak with no points, much less now at 5, and we'll see how things go on Thursday. But as Armstrong said, it's not that they're just losing, it's the way they're losing. So we have a few clips from this interview. Here is Doug Armstrong on the Blues' recent struggles and what he sees at the moment as the problem.
Hit the lever, Plowsy.
That's what we're trying to find out, because it's the way we lose. We lose in we don't lose with pride. You're going, meaning we expose our goaltenders. If you look at our goaltenders the last 3 or 4 games, there has to be at least 2/3 to 3/4 of the goals are backdoor tap-ins. That's not on the goalie. The goalie has to face what he faces. But so we're not competing at our net. We're not competing at their net. We seem extremely easily frustrated, and I think the competition builds off of our body language. When we don't score, we talk to the guys about, we have a group of guys that believe, I can't believe this is happening to me, and a group of guys that believe that they're not part of the problem. When in reality, we're all part of the problem, starting with me, but we all are part of the solution too.
So he is saying it is on everyone, and I think that's a good observation. I mean, against the Kings in particular, they're tapping goals. So it's an across-the-board issue. So to blame goaltenders, and he also defends Craig Berube in a major way. So yesterday on 101 ESPN in particular, I was reading Jackson. What would you say? I don't know, 50% of the texts were saying Berube needs to be fired.
Yeah.
And Armstrong disagreed with that. Furthermore, they just signed him to an extension a few months ago that takes him through 25.
Yeah, I saw in that article, he said that Berube has proven in the AHL that he can develop young players, and he's proven in the NHL that he can take a mix of players, including veterans, and win a Stanley Cup. So he's not the problem.
Yeah. So it couldn't have been a more demonstrative endorsement of the coach. Here is...
Before that, can I ask you a question? Before we get to
I am taking questions. Doug, you are not.
I'm not, right at the moment, no.
So for him to say half the people are saying that it's not my fault. So they've either said that in the locker room and it was overheard, or somebody told Armstrong, not my problem. I'm not the problem.
I don't know on that. Well. I heard that, and I thought that stood out. It stood out to me when I read the article as well. I don't know if that's a body language thing.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know. Like I said, it's a really, it takes, 5-10 minutes to read the article, but it is really good. He said, we're in the bottom quartile of anything that matters in the NHL right now, and that's the best we are, is the bottom quartile.
I don't like the word quartile.
Would you say quadrant?
How about quarter?
I love Army, and I'm glad he put some onus on himself, but, what did you expect with kind of the offseason that you had? Yeah, I get you have your core unit. I get that.
And so much is I think Blues fans wouldn't be as upset about Perron if they replaced Perron, but they didn't. And so when Perron went, I was operating on the premise, kind of like the Steven Matz thing, to draw a parallel. I was like, I'm on board with Steven Matz. And people are like, really? And I'm like, yeah, because I just think it's the appetizer for what they're really going to do to tend to the offense. And then they didn't tend to the offense, unless you consider Corey Dickerson tending to the offense. I don't think most people did at the time. And Albert Pujols, let's not act like we saw that coming, because no one did. So, same with Perron. I'm like, okay, Perron, I get it, but they're gonna do something differently. And perhaps the goal was Matthew Tkachuk, because Perron happened before Matthew Tkachuk went to the Panthers. Or I thought they would trade Tarasenko, even though I realize you're losing even more scoring. I thought that would be something, since Tarasenko's stock's so high. And maybe that was the plan. But now you have a lot of new guys playing with players who they haven't played with before, and you have a chemistry issue similar to what you saw back in November of 2018, which led to the Mike Yeo coaching change. Here is more from Doug Armstrong on how he will know it is time to make a change.
Hit the labor Plowsy.
I realize, you don't want to get ahead of yourself today, but you said a minute ago, if we get to a certain point, we'd probably require some change. What would you have to see? How long would you have to watch what's going on right now before you felt like that was necessary?
Yeah, I don't think that there's a number that gets it. I think it's a feeling. I think it's a feeling that you have it's not an analytically driven decision. It's things you see with your eyes. If you don't see the compete level, if you see, you guys have been around long enough. You've followed a team that's been relatively stable for a lot of years, but you've seen us play a lot of unstable teams, and so you guys know what unstable teams look like. And when we become unstable long enough, I think everyone's going to know.
There you go. Mm-hmm. I understand what he's saying. He's not putting a hard and fast date on it. I'm anxious to see, I really am anxious to see how they play tomorrow night against the Islanders. And he said something along the lines of, I don't know if we'll win, but I need to see the compete level. And Rutherford starts off the article, and JR is going to join us in 10 minutes by saying Doug Armstrong was watching how many pucks actually went in the net at practice because the Blues have, I think, the league worst 6%. Is that the number? Something like that. It's the worst, it's the worst in the league.
They still don't shoot as often as I would like them to. I know it's
30th in the league.
Silly to think you're one of those fans who stands in the crowd and yells, shoot, but I sure wish they'd shoot more than they do.
Now, this take is just my take. I'm not for sure in terms of how realistic getting a Matthew Tkachuk was. I don't know where the Blues were in terms of the running, what was the offer. Did they not want to trade Tarasenko? I don't know if any of that information is out there. But I think they're going to kick themselves in the foot for years to come about not making that move. Again, if it was it a possibility, was it in the realm? I think it's a bad
sense
idea.
on that which I got my ass lit up on 101 for, but at this point you don't even feel it. But that Tkachuk didn't want to play here.
And that could be true. Again, I don't know what. I don't think we got outbid. I just don't know if there was a player they were unwilling to give in the deal. Tarasenko possibly. I just think if there was a way, and if Matthew doesn't want to play here, then it's a moot point. But that's a move that every single fan wanted. I mean, you saw him in the All-Star game, taken out with a Blues jersey. So I'd be shocked if he didn't want to play here with the core group around him, with the best friend here, Robert Thomas. I would be shocked if that was the reason we didn't get him, because he didn't want to come here and he'd rather go to Florida. That would be surprising to me.
I don't know. Some guys don't want anything to do with playing in their hometown. They don't want 50 people a night saying, can I get those tickets? You want to go out with us after the game? Can I come over and talk? That could be a real distract. We've heard certain baseball players say that happens, and it's uncomfortable, and they just as soon play in another town.
So
I don't know that that's the case here, but it's possible.
If you haven't seen his stats, he's killing it this year in Florida, by the way.
Yeah. My niece posted a picture in the off-season.
Different story?
No, where she said, we met Matthew Tkachuk and his family, and there was 30 people around the table with papers out asking for autographs.
Oh, I'm sure.
So if you play here, you go out after a game, it's every night.
As weird as it might sound, and it's almost, people are like, well, ask David Freese, and I'm like, I have spent a lot of time with him on the topic, as a matter of fact. He needed to leave St. Louis. Kerry Robinson was somebody who would come over to my place when I was living by myself, 20 years ago, and we'd play Madden all the time on his way to the ballpark. And he would stop off and we'd play Madden, and I go, man, I don't know, it's not like we spend much time talking baseball, but I go, you're just living everybody's dream. He goes, you have no idea the going through the back and forth because he would get sent down to Memphis all the time, and I don't think he and LaRussa hit it off all the time. That to deal with this in your hometown makes it so much more difficult. And I go, God, you're living what almost any kid who grows up in St. Louis playing baseball wanted to do. He goes, I get it. He goes, you just don't understand it until you're actually in the spot. And Brady Tkachuk, in one of Jeremy Rutherford's articles, said something to that effect about playing at home. Now, if the choice would have only been St. Louis or take your pick of another place, maybe it's a different deal. But when it's South Florida and you now have $75 million and you're in your 20s, and if you do value having some semblance of anonymity, which perhaps now in 2022, where apparently there is a goal to be famous, that might sound counterintuitive. I'm talking about a goal to be famous from people who aren't famous. But God, if you value anonymity, to be a hockey player in South Florida, yet still have all that money, that's about as close as you can get to it.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a lot different than being a hockey player in Calgary.
I just think just seeing him play here would be unreal. And I get the pressure, and, the money would have been the same anywhere he went. Ain't going to get paid fat. I know get paid another fat contract after this, so maybe that's where the Blues come into play. But it felt like such a certainty right after that All-Star game. I think that was 2019 or 20. I forgot what it was where he had that Blues jersey. It just felt like destiny. So when you had the opportunity and it didn't happen, I don't know who was at fault there or if anybody
Well, maybe
was
they'll
at
get
fault.
Brady when he's a free agent.
Guys, he said in his introductory press conference he didn't like the idea of playing in his hometown and the pressures of it. That is from 2-0.
And that makes I think Brady just signed a fat deal.
But along those lines, just to play the hand back, then I don't know if the Blues were thinking that could happen, or the Blues thought it was going to happen, and it was going to be between them and him staying in Calgary, which he didn't want to do. And then when the Panthers emerged, then it changed everything. I don't know if the Panthers don't lose what they lost they edged out the Caps in the first round, and then they lost in the second round after winning the President's Trophy. And even though they're kind of a franchise on the periphery relative to the mainstream franchises that have had success, they were the team that had the best regular season. And so perhaps they became more active in the offseason than they were planning on being. I mean, Calgary looked like they were going to be a dumpster fire after Gaudreau went to Columbus, and now they're a team that went into the season with the potential for being in the mix. And that's after losing Tkachuk and Gaudreau. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Because to me, it's really surprising what the Blues offseason was. I agree with you, Plowhawk, on that.
I think Armstrong strongly believed that Kyrou and Thomas would continue to take the next steps up the ladder and become dominant offensive players. And it hadn't happened yet. It's only 8 games, but it hadn't happened in 8 games.
So Chris Kerber said yesterday on Balloon Party, he said, I've been watching Connor McDavid and Draisaitl play for, I think, 8 years now. So they're not young guys. Well, what have they won? And he goes, you show me a team with young stars, and I'm probably going to show you a team that hasn't had success because it takes time in the NHL for a team to gel. And right now the Blues are kind of reliving that. But because Thomas and Kyrou got those contracts, they have, they're in the crosshairs of fans' criticism. Now, Ryan O'Reilly is the one that is, to me, super intriguing because this is his walk year. He's the Blues captain and, played a huge role in the team's first ever Stanley Cup. This is a hell of a dynamic. So you have the veteran who's in his walk year, and then you have the guy in Kyrou who just signed this long-term deal, who I've always gotten the sense that Berube isn't a real big fan of. That's why I was surprised that they signed him, but maybe I'm off on that. And you have those two different players at the States in their careers, but both, I think they're two of them, when you combine them, they're like minus 22 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is brutal.
Mm-hmm. With 1 or 2 assists.
At least with O'Reilly, you got a lot of equity in terms of what he's done for the franchise.
Sure.
Now, I get the age, and I get it's his walk year. You probably should, have a little bit better stats knowing you're going to get your last contract. But the Kyrou thing, I don't know. He doesn't fit Berube's play style. He's kind of similar to Robert Thomas, and I don't know if you need 2 of the same guy on the team. I know they play different lines. The Kyrou one just shocked me because you probably could have waited a year or kind of see what the market was. It seems like a drastic overpay. There's potential there, but for the
what
system,
hurts them is the
plays.
contracts they have with their defensemen
That's
and the
a problem.
productivity they're getting from those
That's
defensemen.
a
That's a core issue.
Well, there have been many times when Kyrou has looked like the best player on the ice.
Last year,
There's
there was
times
a
he's
month and a half stretch, he looked
dynamic offensive player, and that should still be in there somewhere. I mean, he's young enough that you would think that he might still get better.
And if the team weren't having the kind of performance they've had, wouldn't view it with the Winnipeg game last Monday and the Edmonton game last Wednesday, but the Nashville game, the Montreal game, and then the LA games, it just got bad, worst. Then it puts these guys under the microscope, and that's where it is. Because it's not like Kyrou started off hot. It just recently happened with a couple of goals against Montreal on Saturday night. So it's eye-opening. Jeremy Rutherford's going to join us. You can send in your questions or comments for JR. He's brought to you by Mark Hanna. That comes your way here in a matter of moments. Tim, remember when you asked Luke Voigt how he felt when the Cardinals traded him? I can't remember what his exact words were. Something along the lines of one of the greatest moments of my life.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, I don't think that was all about playing in his hometown. He went to Lafayette, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was in part because he wasn't playing.
Yeah, he gets to play now.
Right.
Yeah,
So I don't,
Goldschmidt ahead of him.
I don't think that was necessarily, I hate being in St. Louis. But again, it's a tough spot. Yeah, I understand it. But as I see Kevin's brother Jack Demoff said, so if the all-season moves seem to be based around getting somebody to be the caliber of Matthew Tkachuk, which was only available via trade for large contracts, if Doug Armstrong did not know that Matthew did not have a desire to play here, then the entire plan was wrecked from the day the offseason started. Not being able to pivot is an Armstrong problem. That's from Kevin's brother Jack Demoff. And I don't know. I don't know what my theory on that is. If Tkachuk had the choice between staying in Calgary or coming to St. Louis, it was St. Louis. But when Florida got into the mix, and if Florida doesn't lose in the second round, maybe Florida doesn't get into the mix. If Florida doesn't get into the mix, maybe he would have chosen to be here. That's my theory. I have no reason. It's not like me and Walter texting about this, it's just, again, I'm theorizing. South Florida, no taxes, living in South Florida, being in your 20s and having $75 million to live down there, and the anonymity of it, there's a lot of places in the United States too. It's not just Canada where, if you're a star hockey player, you're not going to be able to go out. But if you're in Miami, he's probably living in Lauderdale or Hollywood, Florida, he can walk around there and very few people will care.
I was at a restaurant in Tampa and saw Randy Arozarena. No one knew who he was.
Oh, I remember that story.
Nobody knew who he was.
I bet Calgary wishing that Matthew was interested in the Blues as well, because Humberdeau is having a ho-hum season. You probably could have got Tarasenko instead. So I bet Calgary kind of wishes that St. Louis would have been a destination, because you had so many. There's so many options for them to choose from.
To some extent, the Blues are a victim of their success. After you win the Stanley Cup, everybody wants to get paid, and they did. Bennington got a big contract, and that meant they couldn't keep Jake Allen as the backup. Pietrangelo wanted to be paid like a superstar. That meant they had to probably overpay for Torrey Krug to replace Pietrangelo, who didn't want to stay. O'Reilly, Shin, Tarasenko, all making big money. They earned it with what they did in 2019, but now, 3 years later, it's costing them.
That is the nature, unfortunately, of sports cycles. That's why to have a dynasty, like, for example, take your pick. The Patriots, I guess, having about 15-plus years of it, is in the NFL, too. It's like they cycled different players through, minus the one constant. Check out Mentality today at lowtusa.com. Go to lowtusa.com. Decreased mental acuity, attention span, and stress can cause focus issues on even the most simple tasks. Belly fat, feeling bloated, and a lack of lean muscle and tone that used to be easy to get rid of or maintain. Low libido. If you're disinterested in your spouse or partner, it can cause relationship problems. Get it taken care of by going to lowtusa.com and working with Mentality. I went out there, and it could not have been easier. They could have been friendlier, and I was in and out in 15 minutes, got tested. And the normal range for testosterone is large. So if you've been to a doctor and they told you that you were normal without understanding the range or testing for your free testosterone, it wasn't fully looked at, come get checked with Mentality. It is at lowtusa.com. This closes out our appliance discounters. 8 o'clock hour, Jeremy Rutherford, presented by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies, joins us on the other side of the break. Your questions and comments are welcome, plus the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today on the Captain's Log at 9:45. Darren Pang will be with us on Balloon Party coming up in the 10 o'clock hour. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Check out listener rewards on the new TMA mobile app. Watch the show live on the TMA studio cams. Find it at TMASTL.com. Get the podcast on the TMA app. Download it now.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
Okay. Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
And now the Pepperoncini Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Stroh. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Pepperoncini.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at tmastl.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever.
Hey, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that's always a great time to gather at Rosalita's. Why not start off with a happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m.? Enjoy happy hour specials including $3 off of appetizers like the wildly popular carne con cerveza, marinated steak cooked to order and served on a sizzling skillet. The patio is heated and covered, plus Rosalita's offers live music on Thursdays and mariachi every weekend. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's.
Doug Vaughn here alongside Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert. Ryan, rates are high, but you're still finding a way to get people a good mortgage. How do you do it?
Yeah, we work really hard for our clients. We watch the markets. We watch the rates. They swing a quarter point a day some days right now. And that's why you need an expert to lock you in at the right time. And then we have these incredible programs like our interest rate rewind, where for the first year, your rate will be 2 full points lower. The second year, a point lower. And then year 3, it goes to the current rate. Thinking about buying a house? Maybe a refinance? Got questions? Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
Hey, if you like the morning after, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. HD1, by the way. It's sports talk with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. each weekday, right after the morning after. It's the worst named show in the history of radio, but the content's pretty good, so check it out on 101 ESPN or get the podcast on the TMA app.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan for Design Air Heating and Cooling. I am a very happy client. Design Air Heating and Cooling and Seth Goldcamp and his incredible staff, which you can find online at designairservice.com. Just go to the website, click on the Book Now tab, and any issues you may be having with your HVAC system, they will take care of immediately. The customer service, second to none. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com.
The best authentic Southwestern cuisine awaits you at Santa Fe Bistro in Creve Coeur. Open for lunch and dinner with happy hour Monday through Friday, 3:30 to 6, and Saturdays, 2:30 to 4. Daily drink and entree specials and 72 tequilas, as well as a vast selection of beer on draft and by the bottle. Wear a jersey or team gear for Blues and NFL games and get a free drink with the purchase of an entree. Nothing says authentic Southwestern cuisine quite like Santa Fe Bistro. West of 270 on Olive. Same plaza as the old TGI Fridays location. Full menu at SantaFeBistroMO.com.
The Tim McKernan Show podcast, featuring long-form interviews with people from the world of sports, politics, and entertainment.
And our guest today, Bill McClellan. Thanks so much for coming in.
Hey, my pleasure, Tim.
What's up, Caden?
Hi, how are you?
Joe Buck, our guest today.
Man, it's like I haven't seen you in years.
More than 500 episodes and counting, and it's available wherever you get your podcasts, including the TMA STL app. Get the app now at TMASTL.com.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Get the TMA mobile app and enable notifications so you don't miss a thing. See our content on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And stream us on the TMA mobile app and at TMASTL.com.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
With the fall's cooler weather upon us, we hope you'll let Lee May Concrete Block help you with all of your landscaping projects. They've been a locally owned and operated manufacturer since 1947, priding themselves on their quality of their products and the customer service they provide. Lee May Block offers a complete line of fireplaces, outdoor living kits, decorative retaining wall blocks, ready-mix concrete, masonry block, as well as concrete parking curbs and air conditioning slabs. Please visit their showroom off South Broadway at 326 East Courtois or visit them online at LeeMayBlock.com.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
Butter me up, Daddy.
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPNT-FM HD2.
Is there a slide whistle in this one?
Yeah, is this a remix?
It's pretty annoying.
I don't know what this is.
Doug, is that a siren?
This is awful.
It could be a mistake of some sort.
Is Cassie Moore doing something with this?
Now it's
I had a police siren going.
Oh, okay, yeah. It didn't sound right.
Every station deals with that.
You doing mashups over there, bro?
It's a terrible one if I was.
It's like what happened to Push the Little Daisies.
These Ween boys, you never know with them. Gene and Dean
sounded like
Ween.
it would go with it.
They did a remix 28 years later.
It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Welcome to the Maggie O'Brien's. And 9 o'clock hour, catch the game at a pint at one of the 2 locations in Sunset Hills. and downtown. Send your emails in. A lot to work with. What a press conference Wednesday it's been. Jeremy Rutherford's going to join us, brought to you by Mark Hanna here in a matter of moments. Send your emails in for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day, the morning after, at InsideSTL.com. That comes your way at 9:45. Darren Pang will be with me and Action Jackson on 101 ESPN coming up in the 10 o'clock hour. And Doug, Ryan Kelly will be our title sponsor. Oh, yes, he is.
Well, he has been for a long time, and hopefully he will be for a long time to come. Hey, you've heard me talk about Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert. He has a loan program called the $0 Down Loan, where you can buy a home with $0 down. Really, Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert, has a $0 down home loan that is changing the game and is making home ownership more accessible than ever before. The $0 down program that Ryan has no income limits. It is not just for first-time home buyers, and if you have less than perfect credit, that's not a problem. And with the Home Loan Expert's 10-day closing guarantee, your loan will be closed in 10 days, or you'll get $1,000. Ryan Kelly, the Home Loan Expert, has a 10-day closing guarantee, so not only will you not have to put money down, now you'll get in that new home faster than ever. If you need more information about the $0 down loan, visit thehomeloanexpert.com. Ryan Kelly has got all the answers.
Stratum Structural Systems is online at stratumrepair.com. Call 314-620-8153. Matt Ford and Brett Groman have worked on my home, and I've run into waterproofing issues, and I know they've worked on a lot of your homes as well. Email me, T. McKernan at InsideSTL.com, and I will connect you with them. You can DM me on social media, and I'll connect you with them. They're in Chesterfield. They're in Columbia. They are local. And when you call 314-620-8153 to let them know you are a TMA listener, you get $100 off your repair project. It's basement waterproofing and foundation repair. It's Stratum Structural Systems. Matt Ford, Brett Groman, and their incredible staff at Stratum. Well, every Wednesday here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After, we go legitimate. And we have Jeremy Rutherford with us, presented by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies, 314-889-0503, or go online at evergreenstl.com. And we welcome JR to the Steve Schmidt Kia of North County phone lines. Good morning, Jeremy.
What's up, my favorite TMA people and Jackson?
Oh, wow. Right out of the chute. You got some sandpaper in your game.
Wow.
I love you, Jackson.
Much love, Jeremy. Much love.
Yeah, that's Jackson sideways with the hockey community right now.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Chase and Twist to storm into the studio one day and just throw
I'll take
them
their
around.
measure.
Yeah, Doug, do what happened to poor Reed Simpson. Remember that?
Oh, gosh, he about got killed by the Grim Reaper.
That's right. JR, I was discussing your story on The Athletic. Outstanding work, by the way. It's a great read. And talking about what Doug Armstrong had to say on a wide variety of topics. I think what stood out to me yesterday when I was hosting the show down the hallway on 101 ESPN is there is a large contingent of fans who see what's happening at the outset of the 2022-2023 season as a parallel to what happened with Mike Yeo in November of 2018, and therefore Craig Berube has got to go. And that was a healthy percentage of people on 101 ESPN, and that's what Kerry Davis and Matt Rocchio were telling me when I went to the studio, and then I saw it with my own eyes. But your article on The Athletic certainly indicates that Doug Armstrong is not thinking that way at all. Your interpretation of Doug Armstrong's comments on the head coach. Let's start there.
Yeah, first of all, I want to congratulate Doug Armstrong on a great article. I could have put his byline on it yesterday. You know, he gave us about 30 minutes and said everything we wanted to know, answered all of our questions. And so credit to Doug Armstrong for coming out yesterday and kind of figured out why he would come out and do that yesterday, because just so many days in a row of Craig Berube and the players trying to answer these questions as to what's going on. And so Doug, I think, provided a lot of those answers. And number one, that you touched on the status of Craig Berube. And, you know, I think, Tim, that this is much, much, much different in terms of the situation with Mike Yeo from an internal perspective. It might, on the outside, look like the team's floundering. It's early in the season. What's going on? But the one thing that I push back on is there's a reason that this is the first time the team's lost 4 in a row, now 5 in a row under Craig Berube, because it just doesn't happen. And so there weren't really any concerns going into the season with Craig Berube. You go back to that Mike Yeo time, and I think even though there was excitement, there was hype around the team, I think there were questions internally about Mike Yeo. And then the team didn't get off to the great start. I think Doug Armstrong saw some things. He's not seeing those things with Craig Berube. He's seeing a team that's not competing like he said yesterday. And so it wasn't a shock to me yesterday when he came out and said the coach is not going anywhere.
And when they say not competing, what does that really mean?
Yeah, Doug, it's I've been covering 18 years. I know you've been around the Blues probably longer, and it's a situation where the question comes up every so often, different teams, different eras of teams, and, how do you answer that question? And I asked Doug Armstrong point blank yesterday, when you try to analyze why this team isn't competing, what do you come up with? And here's the GM, president of Hockey App, says, I don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out. But, you can sit here and go through all the cliches. They're not finishing checks. They're not going hard to the net. They're not blocking out at their own net. They're just not doing all those things. And the one thing that Doug Armstrong pointed out yesterday, he goes, I talk to these guys. They tell me that they're close off the ice. We just went to the bonding trip in South Carolina. They come back, but they don't play close together. And, he said that it's not the independent contractors term that we heard years ago. He doesn't think it's like guys on an island who are just playing for themselves or a different team or a different contract. This is a situation where they're just playing dumb. That's what he said. You can play hard, but if you play hard dumb, you're still playing dumb.
I asked Chris Kerber this yesterday, and I'm curious what your thoughts are on it, if it helps explain, because it sounds like, including Doug Armstrong, a number of us are just trying to figure out what in the hell's going on. And when you look at what the Blues did going into the year they won the Cup, they had a substantial change on the top two lines in particular with the acquisitions that offseason. This year, you have a number of changes. Now, they're more on the bottom couple of lines. And then it has led to a lack of chemistry, which then has led to a lack of scoring, which then leads to the team pressing either later in the second period or the third period where they've really had some problems. And so there is some comparison to be made between the outset of the 2018 season and where things are right now. And certainly, I'm sure people hope that's the case because we know what happened in June of 2019 when things started so rough. But do you see that as having any impact on what has transpired so far?
Yeah, I can see the comparison. The only thing I'd say is that to me it is night and day difference when you talk about bringing in new guys, new faces in your top six, the guys who you're going to depend on, and the guys who are in your bottom six, Tim. Mm-hmm. And then more specific, too, is those bottom six guys who are the new guys, they're playing well. Toropchenko, a young guy, playing well. Achari comes in. Achari, he was playing on the first line yesterday with Ryan O'Reilly, and he might play there tomorrow night against the New York Islanders. We'll see what happens in practice. So maybe if the new guys weren't gelling or the new guys were in the top six and you weren't getting the production. But to me, when you hand a guy an 8-year contract in a Jordan Kyrou and he can't handle the puck, you got a guy in Ryan O'Reilly who you might sign to a 3 or 4 year contract extension, and he's got 1 point, a goal in the season. You look at Ryan O'Reilly and Jordan Kyrou, that was two of the players on the top line coming into the season, and they have no assists, 0 assists, the two of them combined, 0 assists after 8 games. These are issues with these guys at the top not performing, to me, more so than any sort of gelling issue with new guys coming in.
You think maybe they miss Perron more than they really thought they would? Because he and O'Reilly always seem to have great chemistry together.
Yeah, I do. I really do. And, I can only talk about it from an on-ice perspective. And, hey, listen, we talk about the O'Reilly-Perron chemistry from years past. It wasn't really there the past couple years, but they were familiar with each other. They knew where each other were going to be. It might not have always ended up with a goal production between the two of them, but I think you could go into a game and feel pretty good about those two playing together. And this year, what happened was they wanted to keep Bruce Nevich, and Thomas. And
Thank you, sir.
They wanted to keep those three together, and it forced them to play O'Reilly and Kyrou together, and it's not working. And here we are 8 games in, and they're not playing together. They're going to move Kyrou down, it looks like, with Thomas tomorrow night against the New York Islanders. And as I mentioned, Achari could play with O'Reilly. Who would have ever thought that fourth line Noel Achari would play with Ryan O'Reilly? So, yes, they do miss David Perron, and that's just from an on-ice perspective. I'm sure there's some players in the locker room, too, that would say they miss him inside.
Yeah. Jeremy Rutherford with us every Wednesday, brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. And you are welcome to send in your questions, comments for JR via our Engineer Design Facilities text inbox 314-881-TMA5. Engineer Design Facilities, sponsor of the text inbox. And the way you can ask questions or give your comments here when JR joins us every Wednesday at 9 o'clock on the Ryan Kelly Morning After, the official commercial fire alarm services and solutions provider of TMA. It's Engineer Design Facilities. Email them at fire@edf-rg.com or go online at edf-rg.com. Engineer Design Facilities can handle all your company's security and surveillance needs, from surveillance cameras to access card readers to facial recognition software and everything in between. So we've got a few dynamics here that make this a bit more of a soap opera. Anybody who was on the Berube thing, not to say that they're dead wrong, but I think yesterday's comments from Doug Armstrong, for those either reading or your work, JR, or listening to our show or 101 ESPN, they know that that is not on the table, at least anytime soon. I think that puts that to rest. It won't mean people won't stop complaining. And he also, I think, extinguished any of the goaltending talk. Again, that doesn't mean that it will stop. But I feel like the hot button characters for this right now are the two guys who just signed the contracts, and then the one guy who is the captain and who is in his walk year. And so that adds a little more of a storyline to it. The two aren't performing after getting the money, and one isn't performing when you don't know where he's going to be playing next year. And I think that adds to the criticism because the performance isn't there after getting the money or after or before wanting to get a new deal. How do you analyze the Thomas, Kyrou, O'Reilly dynamic of this current slump?
Yeah, a few things going on. You're right. I'll start with Kyrou. I asked Doug Armstrong yesterday, what do you see that's going on with Jordan Kyrou? And he said he's playing like a $2.9 million player. And the reference there is that this is the final year of that contract that he's on, where he's making 2.9. Next year is when his 8-year, $65 million kicks in. And then he's an $8.1 million player. So his reference was he's playing like the contract that's getting ready to expire. He needs eventually to take that step. You know, he's not going to wait till next year. Obviously, they want it to happen this year. But he said that he's playing like the player that has grown from that contract. Needs to be better. And so I think he was critical of him there. The one thing, and to me this is one of the biggest takeaways from Doug Armstrong yesterday, is the potential of a rebuild. And this ties into what you're saying with Ryan O'Reilly and Vladimir Tarasenko, is if this team doesn't pick it up, Doug Armstrong said, if this competitive level doesn't pick up and this team finds itself not coming together and playing well, he said, look, it's on me. That's a roster issue, and I need to reevaluate things. Do we need to go into a retool? And he said it flat out to the players in a 45-minute meeting yesterday. There's a lot of organizations, guys, that have to go through different phases. The Blues haven't been through that phase. Do they have to enter it? He said it's up to you, the players, to tell me, to show me with your play, do we need to go that direction? And if the Blues find themselves falling out before that February trade deadline, do they move a O'Reilly? Do they move a Tarasenko and start to pick up assets for that potential rebuild? I think we're weeks, even months away from knowing the answer to that question, but that's the first time I've heard Doug Armstrong that I can remember in 12 years of covering him ever use the word rebuild, retool.
Yeah, that was to me the most eye-opening part, to see that that's even being discussed. Now, to be clear, he's not saying that's what we're going to do, but to even hear it being discussed, again, 9 days after the team was 3-0. But it has been eye-opening, and that goes back to something that he said, JR, it's not just that they're losing, it's the way that they're losing, the lack of compete. And he said, we don't know that we'll win against the Islanders Thursday night, but you got to see a different caliber of play on Thursday night. That's the thing that really, it sounds like, stands out to him, and candidly, I would say irritates him.
Yeah, and I did the interview with you on 101 a couple days ago, and you said, hey, are you worried about this 4-game losing streak? And I said, not really. We're starting to see things where, Kyrou's playing a little better. He goes to the net. He scores the power play goal. The goaltending was the question. That's been good. I think this team will come around. And so I was kind of keeping an optimistic viewpoint, but it's because what I've seen with this Craig Berube team, they just don't lose that many games in a row before they figure things out and they turn it around. I did say the other night, hey, they could lose this game to the Kings, but I don't expect this team to go 2-8 in the next 10. Well, Doug Armstrong kind of said the same thing yesterday. He said we might not beat the Islanders, on Thursday night. But we need to start getting back on that winning track. We're going to run out of runway here. Guys, you look at this Islanders team. I just looked it up. I haven't watched them play this year, but 6-4 this year. They've won 4 straight games. They beat the New York Rangers, the Cup contender. They beat the Carolina Hurricanes, the Cup contender. The Colorado Avalanche, the Stanley Cup champions. And the Chicago Blackhawks, who are better than the tanking team that everybody made them out to be. This is going to be a difficult team to play Thursday night. But as Doug Armstrong said, you just want to see the effort. Even if they lose this game Thursday, after what we've witnessed, after what we heard yesterday from the GM, you want to see that effort tomorrow night at Enterprise.
Now, J.R. Army, kind of referenced basically the defense, trying to not put a ton of blame on Bennington in terms of, the back-ended goals. And the defense is playing like Swiss cheese. I'm wondering, since he is so open and honest, how disappointed has the whole organization been with Colton Parayko since he signed that big deal? Because, he's a -6, if I'm not mistaken, or something. Yeah, he's a -6 with 2 assists and no goals. For a guy his stature and his size, and you do see the potential, how disappointed is it to have a stat line like that? Now, granted, there are players like Kyra and O'Reilly with worse, but with a defense that is so weak, I was wondering if he was, aware of just how, poorly Parayko was played.
Yeah, I think the honest way I can answer that question is, they'll tell you publicly, and I think they believe it, that what Colton Parayko does well, he does very well. He skates, he gets the puck out of the zone. He can do a lot of good things. I think when you see him sign an 8-year contract, it's because of the number. They could get a guy who plays like that, skates like that, who can be in your top 4 at $6.5 million. It's a pretty good deal. But I think privately, if you were having a beer with some of the guys, they could tell you, yeah, they wish there was more there. A couple years ago, I'll never forget it, I dropped my son off at school. I called Doug Armstrong. We got a prearranged interview. I'm going to ask him a few questions about Pietrangelo leaving and Parayko coming in. And he said, Colton Parayko is now the alpha male. He is going to take this spot that Alex Pietrangelo vacated, and we hope that he can be that guy. And he just hasn't become that guy, and it's not from a minute perspective. He can eat a lot of minutes, and he can do a lot of good things, as I mentioned. But in the NHL, a lot of times, there's only 6 or 7 of them in the league. You need that upper echelon guy. The Blues had it with Pietrangelo, and Parayko just is not that guy. I think what the Blues are going to do is rely on 4 guys. That's why you see a $6.5 million Justin Falk, a $6.5 Torrey Krug, now a $4 million Nick Leddy. They try to put this group together where Colton Parayko doesn't have to be that guy, and you're just going to have to watch the game, see those mistakes, see that he's not going to be physical, see that he's not going to do those other things, and understand that that's just not who he is, and I think that's how they view it.
Jeremy Rutherford with us. Doug, let's go to the text inbox and see what we have here.
Sure.
JR, number 1, it looks like we have 2-part questions.
Don't need those.
Two-parter.
Don't need them.
Number 1, JR, if this team keeps dragging ass, do you think Army will try to employ the services of Michael Handzus or Lubo Spartachko? They're a big
Lubo Spartachko.
And he's like 51. I doubt it.
Don't count him out.
And number 2, are you pumped for fried ditch carp nugget and hamburger helper night on Ken's Facebook cooking show?
Is that coming up? Is that coming up?
Aggie, what is the schedule?
Today's Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, tonight.
Cooking tonight, are you?
Little shrimp with a little linguine and white wine sauce.
Here, just guys, give me 1 second here. Hey, Sarah, I cannot take the kids to religion class tonight, okay?
See, there you go. You can't go to class tonight, Doug.
Yeah, Sarah, you got to take them.
Yep, sorry.
JR, you can always, I always save it up there so you can come back and watch it later if you got things to do.
Yeah, I like to watch it live, though.
I never see your name in there, so.
No, I did do a replay the other day. You're right. Yeah, I can't miss that. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, this tonight's expected to be really good.
Yeah, tonight will be a biggie.
You saved it for a ratings period, didn't you?
November sweeps.
And stop with the ditch carp. I've never cooked a bad piece of fish. Are you
yelling at JR?
No, the guy who said...
Oh, that was Carlos Spicy Wiener. He's going into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, Spicy Wiener. I'll see you at Gobble Bowl, and I'll have something to say to you.
Oh, Doug, there's going to be a scrap.
You're going to give him a piece of your mind?
Call my fish ditch carp.
Wow. JR, do you see the... I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Vegetable. Just a vegetable. Is there a vegetable tonight?
Yeah, tonight just for you, I'm doing asparagus.
Oh, Brian, Doug, Brian.
Yeah, I like that.
Perfect.
JR, do you see the current media/fan response to a 3 and 5 start as an overreaction, or is it appropriately measured? And secondly, also, Are you and Dash still exchanging man sweat at the gym? Doug, what does that mean?
Who's Dash?
I don't know. I just read what's in the prompter.
Dash Riprock.
I do not think it's an overreaction. Yes, it's only 8 games into the season, but it's just gone on too long. And Tim, again, I can't stress enough that the other night, keeping a level head going into that Kings game. But then when you see 3, I don't know if I can use this term on this show, but backdoor passes.
Yeah, not on this show.
Watch it.
Yes.
Not on this show.
Save that for Randy Carricker's circus down there.
And goals. It's just too much, and the effort's not there, so not an overreaction. And shout out to Dash. He is my great friend. He is retired, takes me to the airport a lot. Instead of calling it Uber, whenever he picks me up, he's got a sign on his car that says Goober, so he's my Goober driver.
Oh, nice. I like that.
And yes, we do trade a lot of sweat at the gym. The only thing is the weight just never seems to fall off. There's a lot of sweat, but no weight falling off.
I like that.
Wow. Must be diet. Must be the diet. You're eating too many press box foods.
It's Iggy's food. I watch it. I make it. Come on, Iggy. We got to get healthy.
Mine is fairly healthy. I mean, fish is good for me.
Is there too much butter?
Yeah, I use a lot of butter.
A lot of butter on some of that. A lot of butter.
I'm a big fan of butter. My grandma turned me on to butter.
Well, then that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's going to taste delicious, but it may have an issue with the.
Well,
diet.
It's kind of dried out. You don't have to put the butter in the bottom of the bowl back on the fish.
Maybe that's why Carlos Spice Wiener says it's actually coming from a ditch.
Well, it's not. It's coming from, where I can't mention it on here.
What?
Paola.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I have to be careful here. On my fishing show, or my cooking show, I mention it all the time.
Life was easier a year ago.
Yeah, my poor eye doctor.
Fishing show. I want to see you wear a Bill Dance hat and start reeling them in. And
yeah, wouldn't you? Yeah, go out there and catch it.
Yeah.
What do they call that? Farm to table?
Yes.
I could, well, Tim saw. I mean, it's not hard for me to catch fish out of Gateway.
You did a wonderful job.
Ditch carp with a bunch of moss on the line.
Definitely ditch carp there.
That could be maybe our next little project we do for our photographers. We all go out to Gateway and just have a little fishing tournament.
Morning, JR. Do you know who sharpens the Blues players' skates? And also, do you ever see Iggy at the Blues games for the first 12 minutes only to collect freebies? Thanks. That's from Herb's Hog.
It used to be Bert Godin did it for years and years, and then it was Joel Farnsworth, the equipment manager. Now they have Richie Matthews. I'm not quite sure who sharpened those blades. Part 2 of that question, I have not seen Iggy. Iggy, I expect to see you tomorrow night.
You're going to be there for the aisle?
No, I had a season credential for like 3 straight years and never stepped foot in the press box.
Why'd they give you the credential?
There you go.
Pardon me?
Why'd they give you the credential?
Well, at the station, they just said, all right, who needs a credential for this year? And they just put everybody's name down, and we all got them, but I never went.
Oh.
They don't do a lot of giveaways at the Blues games anyway.
It's a reason not to go.
Jeremy Rutherford every week, brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Final question for you, and this one is actually about hockey. Please ask him to elaborate on Kyrou. It has to be more than just playing badly. He's literally last in the NHL at -13. He gets knocked off the puck like a fly, and that is not fixable. That's from friend of the show, Harrison's brother Master.
Oh.
Well, all I can do is bring it to you every week. And when I say bring it to you, what I gather from the Jordan Kyrou situation is there could have been a situation where, fastest skater, 75 points, get a little too big for your britches, kind of, guys in the locker room like, hey, let's temper it down over there. And I think that this year, doing some things, one-on-one, trying to be too individual, not getting back on defense, I've become aware of some players kind of addressing that with him in the locker room. And so I think it could be a situation where a young player goes through that. Now you have on top of that a young player who's got a $65 million contract on the horizon, and then the mistakes just add up. It's hard to get out of that when you got veterans coming to you telling you got to play harder, so on and so forth. So, I think it's just snowballed on him. I think that what he has to do is get back to work. To me, he should be one of the first guys on, last guys off. You see that with Shannon O'Reilly. You don't see it with Kyrou. Put the time in. Show him this is what you're trying to do, and reward the ownership and the GM who gave you the $65 million. I think that's what I'm seeing with Kyrou right now.
There you go. Jeremy Rutherford every Wednesday, brought to you by Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies. JR, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, guys. Can't wait for tonight, Iggy.
Right, yeah, there it is. That's a loyal viewer. That is a loyal viewer.
It is, but the funny thing is I never see him in there.
So now you're
maybe he's got a burner.
I can pretty much see. Well, sometimes I miss some because I'm cooking and I'm not constantly looking at my phone while I'm cooking. So I can come back and I might have missed some people that joined.
Trish Brown.
Well, I see Doug in there.
You actually are in there?
Yeah, because I'm the guy who eats most of the fish.
You want to see what you're
Just
eating.
hoping you go easy on the butter. Am I really silly?
Well, tonight I'm doing the white wine sauce, so there's going to be butter in there.
It's called buttery ditch carpet. It'll be in the refrigerator tomorrow.
I blame my grandmother.
God, can you imagine the next day it's like coagulated, like it's got like 2-inch thick butter.
Can you use olive oil?
Well, I could, but it doesn't make enough sauce.
But it's so much better for you.
It's fine with me. You don't want to eat it, don't?
Okay, well, I'll eat it.
No, I blame my grandmother because I was a kid. We spent a lot of weekends at my grandparents, and she would make us toast, and she would put like 9 knives of butter on this thing.
Oh, God.
I loved it. And you dunk it in the tea. She also let us have tea, which my parents never let us have.
What's wrong with tea?
I don't know. Well, it's caffeine, so she wouldn't let us have tea or coffee as kids. But I dunked the toast into the coffee with all that butter, and I just fell in love with it. So now, I'm making asparagus. Now there'll probably be 4 big pats of butter in there.
Oh, no.
Nice. Real nice. Jackson, why don't you tell the people about Mark Hanna, who presents Jeremy Rutherford every Wednesday on the Ryan Kelly Morning After?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like JR, Mark Hanna is a great communicator. It's a match made in heaven, both really good at speaking and articulating their points. And so when you're working with someone like Mark Hanna, it's really important to be able to speak with them and speak confidently to them, and then for them to reciprocate that. And that's what Mark Hanna does so well. He's so knowledgeable. He's got all these great strategies, all these great plans. I work with him, Doug works with him, Prod Joe's worked with him, a bunch of our listeners have worked with him. And, to have all those strategies, but on top of that, be such a good guy who cares about each and every client, that is so important. And if you have a problem down the road or you just want to change something up, you can get in touch with Mark Hanna. He'll be happy to talk to you, happy to help you out with all that. And that's just all so incredible. So if you don't have anybody, if you just throw money into a savings account, that's a bad plan. A good plan is getting in touch with Mark Hanna. If you already have somebody, consider making the switch. I think you're going to be really happy you did.
There it is. Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies, 314-889-0503, or go online at evergreenstl.com, sponsor of Jeremy Rutherford here on TMA. Doug, making a delicious drink should be as easy and as simple as pouring a glass of wine.
Well, I would think so.
And now it is, thanks to Batch & Bottle's new ready-to-serve cocktails, all containing super premium spirits like the Hendricks Gin Martini, Glenfiddich Single Malt Manhattan, Reka Rhubarb Cosmo, and Monkey Shoulder Lazy Old Fashioned. Don't spend your next party in the kitchen shaking and stirring while your guests have a good time without you like a cuck. Treat them and treat yourself to Batch & Are you surprised that's in the copy?
Kind of, yeah. And I thought we had agreed to pronounce it cuckold. No.
Cuckold.
To Batch & Bottle's premium ready-to-serve cocktails. Batch & Bottle premium pre-batch cocktails imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc., New York, New York. I mean, this audience is passionate, but the sponsors now are either getting married at Hedonism or talking about products cucking the audience.
We've tainted the whole St. Louis region.
It's nice when we can tie our sponsors into actually what our show is about.
Well, I didn't see the Hedonism marriage coming.
I didn't either.
What a huge moment.
That
for the
was.
Wolfpack.
That was. And then for Trish to post pictures of her wedding.
Oh, did she do that?
On the fan page. Yeah.
And did you recognize the grounds?
Oh, yeah. Now, she's on the prude side, but I still recognized it. And I really recognized the big chest board they have out in the courtyard.
You didn't really like the people on the prude side, though. You come down kind of hard on them.
Well, I was only there once for like 3 days.
Yeah, I know.
I never stepped foot back on that side after that.
Yeah, you're not a prude.
We went over there one day with our clothes off. Just to mess with them. They weren't happy.
No. Why did you do that? They don't want their...
Well, you can go naked on the prude side. You see a good-looking girl and you want to see her naked. Oh, the prude side is clothing optional. The nude side, you have to be nude. The prude side is basically clothing optional. So
what do they do to you if you're not nude on the nude side?
They berate you.
No, there's people that will get the security.
Freeze it like a can. That's what they yell at? Freeze it. Freeze?
No, they...
Some policeman?
They'll either take it into their own hands and just start berating you to get off their beach.
Naked people will start yelling at you.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Or they'll get a security guard to get you out of there.
They have security guards. Are they naked?
No, they're dressed in their security uniforms.
And they're patrolling the beaches, making sure no one's wearing anything.
No, they kind of stand by each gate. There's a gate at the beginning of the beach that goes to the other private beach, and then there's one by Sandals. They don't want people coming in from those beaches to Hedo. So they check. But then if there's a lady usually the women, for some reason, want the other ladies off if they have their clothes on.
Oh.
I saw one lady one time, and we became pretty good friends.
Sure you did.
And she thought she was the Hedo police. And we were at the hot tub one day sitting there, and some lady came down in a beautiful dress and was walking through the hot tub to go to her room on the nude side.
Seems reasonable.
And she started screaming at her, "Get your clothes off.
Wow.
This is a nude beach."
Alarming.
And she started taking water and splashing on the lady. She goes,
"Really?
I just got off the plane. I just checked in. I'm going to my room. What are you doing?"
Did she yell, "Freeze like a cow"?
Freeze like a cow. Freeze like a cow. Freeze.
Doug, have you watched any of the World Series?
Sure.
I actually haven't watched a second of. There have been 3 games, and I haven't watched a second of it. But I saw Andrew Marchand just tweet this out. I've watched this like 10 times, a Mona Lisa, and it's Bryce Harper's 2-run home run last night in the first inning, and it does work out perfectly. I was watching it. The Fox cameras follow him from the on-deck circle. The ballpark's going bat crap. What an atmosphere they have. And once again, and I guess this would be back-to-back at-bats for him, because if you take it back to the NLCS where he won the Padres series.
Back-to-back swings.
Right. In his very next swing, the first pitch against McCullers, he goes yard, and the place goes absolutely insane. The Phillies hit 5 home runs last night. Here is the 5th one. Reese Hoskins going yard.
Hit the lever, please, Plowsy, when you get the chance, if you'd be so good.
Panics when they're at the plate.
Hoskins with a drive, left field, wow! An explosion! The South Philly Bombers with 5!
There it is.
Yeah.
Man,
I said before the playoffs started, the only team I can't see winning the World Series in the National League are the Phillies, and Doug, with that, the Philadelphia Phillies are 2 wins away from the World
they got
Series.
a lot of
That's what I
momentum
do.
going.
I did that to the Marlins in 2003. So the only team I can't see win the World Series are the Marlins. Won the World Series, Josh Beckett, Yankees.
They're the hot team with more than one guy swinging a big bat right now.
I was on a complete island during that, 2 or 3 month stretch of Bryce Harper's free agency where the Cardinal fans,
that's not, you're not, no, that's not, I was on the island with you.
Okay, I was going to say, because
I don't know if I was probably not as, whatever word you would want to use about it, but
vocal.
But I, for the life of me, I have no idea. But, one of the greatest things that the Cardinals have going for them outside of 3 million plus fans in a relatively small city and region is that somehow the Blues are expected to go out and spend a bunch of money and the Cardinals aren't. It's one of the strangest damn things to me. No, well, the Cardinals can't do that. They can't do Soto. They can't do Harper.
Small market.
What do we... How do you know? I don't have their P&Ls. I don't have any stock. It's the strangest effing thing. And it's great because the standards are lower. And so, it's bizarro world to me. And so then you go into the playoffs and go, what the hell happened? Well, what happened is you feasted on the National League Central and you have 2 guys who can really hit. This is what happens if you want to. But that's the thing. I believe Nolan Arenado said, hey, enough of this. I'm going to be 32 next year. Let's make sure that we have an offense around me and Goldschmidt, who probably has a couple more years left. So we'll see what they do. I don't think we'll expect Bryce Harper because I don't know if that's possible unless they go Aaron Judging. And even the Aaron Judge thing wouldn't give me the excitement that Bryce Harper would have because of the age difference when Harper signed versus Judge. But there's just not an expectation. Well, the Cardinals can't do that. Why? Why can't they do that? But it's great that fans have been somehow, via osmosis, trained to not expect much from them when it comes to the free agent process. So, wonderful.
I haven't followed the Phillies this year, and I don't play fantasy baseball, so I don't really keep up.
You would like to, but you've been banned from the league.
Yeah.
It ain't that fun of a league.
Is Bryce Harper their DH going forward, or is it just because he's injured they're not going to play him in the field, but he's DHing?
Injured right now.
Yeah, I know that. He's coming off the injury, but is he their DH going forward?
Well, I don't have that answer for you, but that's what he's been this year.
Okay. I'm just curious.
And that contract is going to pay off for the Phillies because of that DH in the NL rule now. I'm not saying Harper in 3 years and won't be able to play in the outfield, but having that as an option for
He's a hell of
team
an
like
outfielder,
that.
so.
Yeah, he is. No, I'm just saying. Usually, you talk about these long contracts as, the last few years, you're going to see him out on the field. Now it's just all you need to do is hit 450 at bats. I mean, that's all you need.
And he came up as a catcher. Boy, if he
Yeah,
was
that's
still
right.
a catcher with those
Oh,
numbers,
my
we'd say, hey,
God,
here's
can you
Johnny Bench.
imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I see all these people that are saying, God, can you imagine if the year Pujols had, he'd hit 900 if he'd have stayed in St. Louis. No, if he'd have stayed in St. Louis, he wouldn't have played.
He would
one of
be
the more
destroyed.
Yeah, I get so tired of seeing that. Those are best fans in baseball probably posting that, too.
It is, I don't even know what to say. I obviously don't say anything to it, but I do see it as well, and I think to myself, wow, you're not aware of what the rules were for the last however many years of National League Baseball. Yeah, Albert Pujols would not have hit 700 home runs if he would have played with the Cardinals for the last decade. No. And I realize I can't prove that, but if I could, I would like to bet.
He was waddling like a penguin the last few years in Anaheim due to a plantar fasciitis. I get that that's a big deal, but yeah, try to see him making Goldschmidt-style plays at first. That would have been so hard to watch.
Did that dumbass just say chessboard? It's chess, you elderly little monster. That's from
I'm
the 3
pretty
and
sure I
4.
said chess. I know it's CHESS, so I'm pretty sure I said chess.
There you go, Doug.
Okay.
You hear what you want to hear.
Sure,
I think
I hear.
I misspoke when I said I haven't seen a second of the World Series. I haven't seen a second of it live, but I did see Kyle Schwarber steal a base and got free tacos. I saw that commercial, so I guess technically I saw some of the World Series.
You going to go get a taco now?
No.
Oh. Well, they were thinking last night that McCullers was tipping his pitches.
Yeah, I saw Rosenthal.
Because guys were
talking
just
about
sitting back and hitting that changeup, and Harper just destroyed the pitch that he hit.
that. Jackson, I have $20 on it. He's got the Phillies. He's got to feel pretty good about it.
He's got to start recouping some of those losses.
I don't know if you've ever gotten $20 from me, so this is. I'd like to keep my streak alive, but I'm a little concerned here.
The best I've done is a push on like a Ravens-Bills game.
That's right. It was the Ravens and Bills.
I loved watching the Mattress Mike.
Mattress
freak
Mac. I
out.
just
Mattress
watched
Mac.
that.
It's so funny because he's such a look at me type guy.
Oh, everyone says he's the nicest.
Yeah, and he seems the nicest, but like when you put yourself out there on that pedestal, on that platform, and you're in Philly, what do you expect? Like you're gonna get, people trashing you the entire time. It's just how Philly fans are.
Right,
and let the audience know, because I don't think everybody in the audience knows about.
Oh, I think there's just an altercation with a Phillies fan and Mattress Mac after the game. I think it's after the game, if I'm not mistaken.
Who's Mattress Mac?
And the guy who bets a bunch of money on the World Series, like $75 million to win if
He
the
owns a
Astros
giant
win it.
mattress store in Houston.
Yeah.
And he was a guy who opened up his store during the hurricane and said, anyone who's homeless can come sleep on one of my mattresses. Looked like the Carroll House.
Super nice guy, yes. Very charitable.
He's done a lot.
He's got like $15 million riding on this.
Who's he got?
He's a Houston guy.
He's a huge Houston guy.
He's a Houston guy.
But I didn't hear what was said to him. I just saw the immediate freak out and just think, look, if you're posting little videos and fun things, kind of antagonizing a fan base, you're at their home turf. I mean, you got to.
So he's in Philadelphia?
He was in Philly, yeah.
The Philly fan base needs no antagonizing.
Dude, they're dangerous,
It's a horrendous
man.
group of people.
I don't
I still root
disagree.
for them because I like the team, and I'd like to see Bryce Harper win one. But for the Philly fan base is a disgrace to sports fans. You see what their football fans do to people. It's a disgrace.
God love him for doing stuff for charity, but what does he do with those mattresses after the homeless people sleep on them?
I'm not
probably donate them.
Donate them secondhand.
Give it to
stores.
them, maybe.
I was just curious.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Design Air Heating and Cooling Email of the Day. Well, Kevin Miller has won September. He has won October. Doug, do you think he can win November?
I do. He's really come into his own.
Yeah, because nobody else is emailing in.
Let's see, we have 5 in the filtered file today, and sometimes there are late entries. I don't know. Morning, land mammals. I believe the bar story 100%. That kind of stuff happens ADT all the time.
ADT all the time.
Been going on since the 60s. Take Let's Make a Deal, for instance. I read an article talking about Carol Merrill cucking Monty Hall, going freaky lesbian on his wife during commercials. But this email's about probiotics.
Oh, is it?
You see, I've become the very thing I've made sport of for years, a fat. So I'm attacking my weight with a two-pronged approach, hoping good gut bacteria helps with my poopies.
Oh.
And I'm exercising. Like last night, I went for a jog down Robin Road when my lozenge... Oh, it's Robin?
Robine.
Oh. Robine Road. Oh, it's one of those St. Louis pronunciation things I wasn't aware of.
Yeah.
Robine Road, when my lozenge got stuck in my throat. As I choked, I thought I was a goner, when all of a sudden a mysterious hero grabbed me from behind. His actions made me immediately spit out said lozenge. And that is the story of the time a khaki stranger saved my life with the Heimlich maneuver.
Oh.
It's from Rock, and then the last name is Hard with 2 Ds.
I didn't really like it. Rock, Herd, 2 Ds.
Look, if no one else has the guts to say it, I guess I'll man up and make the statement that everyone else is too scared to admit. I think Kevin Miller has hired an email of the day ghostwriter. Yeah, I said it. Let's look at the facts. For starters, his emails are actually funny now. Like, what's up with that? And secondly, and possibly most telling of all, where are all the typos? All of a sudden, his grammar is perfect. His sentences make sense. And he uses words correctly way too often. Now, I don't know if he has hired Cucky, Lefty Jacksmere, maybe even the guy who runs the St. Louis Starter Pack Instagram page. But cough, cough, Mr. Ledoux, cough, an NBA boy, cough, cough, Jackson Burkett. Jackson, people really think that's you.
I can't say it enough. It's not me.
But something smells fishy, and I'm not talking about Iggy's reheated seafood in the communal microwave. I'm talking about the fact that some overweight also-ran who posts too many pictures of his crotch on the fan page. The same guy too scared to marry his 5-foot-tall fiance of 14 years has somehow turned into the new show hottie, winning back-to-back bunts. To Danny Tanner, I say, keep grinding. Your time will come. You have the talent and the creativity and the requisite butt mud to have your moment in the sun. I'm not mad at Big Kev. If cheating to win free Jingle Fest tickets helps him feel better about himself, then go ahead. I just hope I'm wrong, because this could be the biggest scandal at TMA since the Sveta, Rokas, and Tucker debacle. Congrats, Kevin Miller. Here's looking at you, kid. That's from the JV golf coach.
JV golf coach.
I wanted to teach my kids a lesson about humility this Halloween, so we went on a trip to Maryland Heights to do our trick-or-treating. Show them how the other half live.
Oh.
There were no jack-o'-lanterns out, but the sound of chirping smoke alarms with dead batteries could be heard throughout the compound. My kids' haul consisted of 3 dirty Band-Aids, a pack of rolling papers, a battery, a pack of hot sauce, and a plate of sunfish fillets.
Well,
my kids yearned for the days when all we had to do to worry about was a razor in your Milky Way. That comes from the throat goat.
The throat goat. He's new.
What's up, beautiful boys? A whole to digest with that Lassie's call. A whole lot to digest with that Lassie's call earlier. Nothing like some tales from the slop sink. Speaking of sinks, hey, Doug, let's role play. I'll be the sink and you'll be the housewife. Throw on those yellow gloves, soap me up, and turn my faucet knobs.
Okay.
Lathering, scrubbing, and soaking. Don't stop till we are squeaking. Moist. Think about it. You so coy, I'm so bulge. That's from SEMO Alum 2.0.
That's from Flocky the Smurf. I recognize the writing.
Just read what's in the prompt.
SEMO Alum 2.0.
And finally, gentlemen, good morning. I'm still working my way through broadcasting last month's shows, but goodness gracious, are you guys spot on when it comes to charcuterie boards and the sorry sacks of sads who find their identities in them. And by the way, I love Plowsy's take that it's nothing but bored and lifeless people who talk about their experiences with the ridiculous meat and cheese and small snack foods. Hey, while we're on that topic, what are those little prepackaged poor person meat and cheese meals that Plowsy's caretaker packs into his lunch pail each day? Doug, he has a lunch pail?
I think so. It's like
caretaker?
1940.
You know, the things with cardboard crackers, processed meats, government cheese, and a small generic Oreo cookie and a mayo packet that he eats to keep from withering away, like Iggy's 1940 Buick Stagecoach that disappeared on 270 during rush hour.
It did. I was just sitting on the concrete.
Mid-drag of a poor person's cigarette. Is it a Lunchable? Aren't those things basically charcuterie boards for children, rabid packs of dogs, and the pathetics? I don't know. It's just a thought. Thanks. That's from Ellen Foley's tour manager. Anyone got a list of the bands nobody asked for that are playing Jingle Fest this year? If so, keep it in the chamber until we're mid-conversation about something important. And then just blurt it out so everyone is forced to pay attention to you.
Ellen Foley's tour manager.
Doug, that's who we are for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day.
Well, I think it's between the Throat Goat and Ellen Foley's tour manager. I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Throat Goat.
Wow, what a moment for the Throat Goat.
Yeah, it was the Throat Goat until the end, and then it made me think. If these people keep emailing, Miller will not win one day.
Don't count him out.
I'm going to go with Ellen Foley.
Ellen Foley has won the Design, Air, Heating, and
Buick
Cooling.
with stagecoach.
You can never go wrong with it. I mean, it's a class.
Your car just disintegrated?
I was. After I spun, I'm just sitting on the concrete with a steering wheel.
That's what I envisioned.
That's what happened in cartoons to Bugs Bunny.
Yeah,
Tires are gone.
What happened to the rest of it?
Yeah.
It's time for us to shut it down. Jackson and I are going to go deal with this Blues losing streak that is not Doug Armstrong's fault. It's our fault. And we will tend to that. Darren Pang will be with us coming up. What time is he going to be on, Jackson?
10:15.
10:15. Panger's going to be with us coming up, and he might chirp us a little bit about this match where we're going to take on him and Patty Maroon. I mean,
he's scared.
You can tell he's a little alarmed.
Can't wait to see how patient Pat is.
Yeah, waiting for us to hit, find our balls.
He'll really
go really well, I'm sure.
Well, we'll be past them, so we'll be waiting for them to hit first.
Wow.
You doing push-ups or something?
No, I've seen Jackson and Tim hit the ball.
Nice. You think they can outdrive Pang? And
yeah.
Pat and I are about the same size, if you look at it.
Well, I'd say he's almost a.
And same net worth, which is awesome.
There's a similar net worth. We'll deal with that down the hallway. Panger at 10:15. Stephen Wildwood might have a mic drop. I don't know. That is coming up. And Pepper and Jeannie, what do we have today?
I don't know. I wanted to talk about this documentary, but Flossie hasn't seen it, so I really can't talk about it.
Which documentary
I can
again?
chime in about the topic. I don't have to watch the documentary.
Well, then maybe we'll talk about the pool boy in Falwell.
I may need
Is that what it's called?
No, it's called. I think it's called My God.
Where are you finding
And
this?
something
Like,
else.
what service is
When I
this?
go to
Netflix.
it might be on Hulu. I don't know.
Oh, you said Netflix, right?
Yeah, I said Netflix. It might
Like
be
a
Hulu.
PBS special?
No, because when I go to Hulu, because I've been watching Empire, and there's always things that pop up. You know, it'll say something new, and you just look at the description, and that interests you. But when it said that, I remember the Falwell story, and it said documentary on how a pool boy brought down a dynasty. And I said, no, I remember that. I'm going to watch this.
You're pretty much interested in anything that involves a pool boy.
I don't know how to answer that. I mean, you're the one.
You really put the man to the test.
You're the one who hooked up with a pool boy on vacation.
I didn't hook up with Victor.
Slander alert.
Victor was the waiter.
Well, he was also the pool boy too.
Well, he was.
All right. Well,
There was no hooking up. He was just working there.
not according to the listeners.
Yep. Time for us to shut it down. Doug will address those allegations coming up on Pepper and Jeannie, but he thinks he might have a phone call. Jackson and I will be down the hallway on 101 ESPN in a matter of moments for the Plowhawk, for Action Jackson, for Kenneth Iggy Strode, for my brother Kevin, for Douglas Elvin Vaughn. I'm Tim McKernan. This closes out the Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
KPNT FM HD.